Wow. Hello, everybody.
안녕하십니까.
You know, this was supposed to be a little gathering in like a
그냥
plant.
작게 모이는 행사였는데요.
This was supposed to be just a little gathering. This is a lot of people outside trying to get in.
그런데 밖에도 정말 많은 사람들이 들어오려고
Well, I want to
하고
thank
있습니다.
everybody, and I want to say
여러분
a very, very
모두에게
special hello
감사드리고요.
to Scranton and
스크랜튼에
also to
인사드리겠습니다.
Pennsylvania. Can
그리고
you all hear me?
펜실베니아, 제 목소리 잘 들리십니까?
Turn this sucker up, please. Turn it up. Get this mic turned up, because I heard somebody say louder.
더 크게
I've never heard that before.
말해달라는 소리가 들리는 거
Turn it
보니까 마이크를 더 볼륨을 올려주시기
It's great to be
바랍니다.
back in the beautiful Commonwealth with
아름다운
thousands of proud,
커먼웰스, 정말
hard-working American
많은 근면한
patriots.
애국자들이 있는
Just 27
이곳에
days
돌아오게
from now, we are
되어서
going to win Pennsylvania. We are
기쁩니다.
going to defeat
27일 후면은
Lion
우리는 거짓말
Kamala Harris.
해리스를 꺾고
Lion Kamala, she's a
거짓말쟁이
liar. We're going
카말라.
to make
미국을 다시
America
위대하게
great
만들
again.
것입니다.
Right? And as you know, early voting is underway. So when the
아시다시피 지금
polls
사전
open
투표가 진행
tomorrow, we're
중입니다.
here.
그리고
We're
투표소가
finally.
내일 열립니다.
And you know, we're way up
꼭
in your.
투표를
I
해주십시오.
want to say, look, let's do it this way. The main thing is to win. Let's say we're one
중요한 건
point
우리가
down. I don't want
승리하는
to tell
것입니다.
you. We're actually up. But I
우리가
want to
이기고
say
있지만
we're one point
지금
down.
1포인트 지고
Everybody get to
있다고
the polls so we
생각하시고
get these
투표를
horrible
열심히
politicians out of
해주십시오.
here. We
그리고
want to get
끔찍한
rid of them.
정치인들을 쫓아내야죠.
No, we're actually up in the polls in
우리는
Pennsylvania, in
펜실베니아에서
Michigan,
지지율에서 앞서고 있고
in
미시간에서도
Arizona just came out.
아리조나에서도
We're up in Arizona very substantially.
아리조나에서
We're
크게
way
앞서고
up in the
있습니다.
polls,
그리고
and the only place we're down,
우리가
New York Times has a headline
지고 있는
that we're
곳은
down a little bit.
뉴욕 타임스의
But they're the
헤드라인이
only poll.
나왔는데
Every poll, you got to see these polls. They're the best polls. New York Times is, we call it the failing New
뉴욕
York Times.
타임스는 우리가
It's
망해가는
fake
뉴욕 타임스라고
news. These people are.
그러죠. 뉴욕 타임스는 가짜 뉴스입니다.
You remember in 2016 they had to do an
2016년
editorial apologizing to their readers because
독자에게
they said he's going to
사과하는
lose.
논평을
He's going
냈어야
to lose. I
했습니다.
swear he's going to lose.
제가 질
And then
것이라고
I
항상
won.
얘기했었거든요.
And they lost
그리고 제가 승리했죠.
thousands and thousands of. I love that. Going to happen again. No, I came on today to the plane, and
오늘
Susie and
제가
everybody says, "Sir, you're up in this poll. You're up in this poll. You're up in
비행기에
this
타자
poll. You're up in
여기
every poll."
지지율에서 앞서고 있다는
And then I
소식을
picked up the
들었습니다.
New York
그런데
Times.
뉴욕
It said,
타임스를
"I'm losing by a
집어드니까
whisker."
제가 아주 간발의 차이로 지고
They
있다고
hope.
하더라고요.
They hope. No, they're
그들이
fake
바라는
news. You know, they're all
말이죠.
fake news. These people, they're totally crooked.
정말
They're so
타락한
crooked.
언론입니다. 너무
They're the enemy of
타락했습니다.
the people.
그들은 사람의
They are.
국민들의
They are the enemy of the
적입니다.
people. So get everyone you
그래서
know and
여러분이
vote
아는 모든
immediately, because
사람들
that's the only one
동원해서
that
즉각
counts, you
빨리
know.
투표하십시오.
November 5th, that's
11월
called our big
5일은
poll. That's the real poll, right?
진짜
And they're going to cheat like hell and everything else. You know,
여론조사의 그
if they only cheat a lot, we're in great
최고봉이죠.
shape.
그리고 그들은
But if they
미친
cheat
듯이
in
부정을 저지릅니다.
record-setting numbers, which they're capable of doing, I
그들은
can't
정말
promise.
기록적으로 부정을
But
저지를 수
they are
있습니다.
cheaters. That's the way they do. When they have their first meetings, our first meeting is, where would be a good place to go? How about Scranton? You know what their first
우리가
meeting is?
미팅을 했을 때 제일 먼저
Their
어디를
first
가야
meeting
할까
is,
했는데
How
스크랜턴이
do we
제일
cheat? How do we cheat?
좋다고
That's all they. Because you know, when you
하는데
think about
그들은
it,
항상
who
부정을
can win with high
어떻게 저지를까
taxes,
그런
open
생각을
borders,
합니다.
allowing murderers to
높은
come in?
세금,
You saw that
열린
last
국경,
week.
범죄자들을 드리는
13,099
것,
murders allowed to come in
13,099명의
through
살인
them.
판결을 유죄
Over
판결을 받은
3.5,
자들을
13.
드리는 것.
Many of them have murdered
그리고 많은 사람들은
more than one person. Is
한
there
명
anybody in
이상을
the
살인한
audience that's in that group?
살인자들입니다.
Because if they are, we want to get the hell out of here or get him out of here.
혹시 여기 있는 건 아니겠죠?
If we win
그러면 쫓아내야
Pennsylvania, we
하는데요.
win the whole
우리가
thing. It's very
펜실베니아에서
simple.
승리하면 모든 선거에서 승리를 하게 될 것입니다.
And your taxes will come
그리고
down and
여러분의
your
세금은
safety
낮아질
will go up.
것이고 더 안전해질
But we had an
것이고요.
incredible evening here on Saturday. You
우리는
probably
토요일에
heard
정말
about it. Maybe
펜실베니아에서
some
정말
did. Maybe some didn't. I
아름다운
don't
저녁을
know. It was in
보냈습니다. 그 소식
a
들으셨는지
beautiful place called
모르겠는데요.
Butler,
아름다운
Pennsylvania.
버틀러 펜실베니아에서 논리를 했습니다.
And we were celebrating the brave
그리고
firefighter
우리는
Corey,
그 용감한
who
소방관
sacrificed
코리
his life in
컴파라토의
the attack
그
12 weeks ago now
우리
already.
기념하는 시간을
And he really
가졌습니다.
was. He jumped on top of his wife and daughters. He got hit.
그는
Right? He
아내와
got hit.
딸들을
Two other
구하기 위해서 그들의
gentlemen,
몸으로
two other,
갔었습니다.
all
그리고
Trumpers. I mean, to the
모두 다
nth
트럼프
degree, all Trumpers.
지지자들인데요.
But two others got
그리고
hit
두
too. They
명이
said they
또
were
큰
dead. They weren't going to
부상을
make it. And the doctors,
당했습니다.
you have very good doctors in
정말
Pennsylvania.
펜실베니아에 훌륭한 의사들이
They're
많습니다.
doing well. They're doing well. How many? I said as I was getting up, before I even got up, I said how many people were
제가
killed because
여기서
it was
그
wall-to-wall
쓰러졌다가
people.
일어나자마자 일어나기도 전에 몇 명이
죽였냐
죽었냐 그렇게 얘기했습니다. 그리고 3명이 죽었다고 했는데요. 그 미치광이가 총을 마구 쏘고 있었죠. 제 머리 위로도 총알이 지나갔는데요.
The two went and they had unbelievable talent in the form of doctors. Two separate doctors, and they saved their lives. But Corey was hit bad. He was hit hard. He was hit hard. But I thought what I'd do.
너무 심각한 총상을 입어서 사망을 하고 말았습니다.
You know, one thing, and I didn't want to say it the other night, it wouldn't have been appropriate, but one thing we raised a little money for Corey, and you know what it ended up being for his family?
그 코리의 가족을 위해서 돈을 모았고,
like, I think around $5
코리의
million,
가족은 정말 훌륭한 가족인데요. 우리가 거의 $500만
And a friend of mine, a
모았습니다.
pretty wealthy guy,
그리고 제 친구,
he said, "Do you mind
매우
if I
부유한 친구가
give a check to the family of
수표를
Corey?" I
주고
said,
싶다고
"You can do that
하더라고요.
if you want. How much?" He said $1
그랬더니
million, and he handed me a
$100만
check for $1 million.
달러짜리
And then
수표를 주었습니다.
Then they raised
그리고
another like $4 million,
또 한 $400만
and we also
달러를
gave some, or we
모았습니다.
were going to give some to the two gentlemen that got
그래서
badly hurt. They
이
got badly
돈을
hurt.
그 큰
But
부상을
we
당한
raised
두 분과 코리의
$4.5
가족에게
million for the family.
줄
So
것인데요.
I think it's good, and that's out of love
잘 됐다고
for
생각합니다. 이는
what they do. I mean,
다
you know,
사랑으로 모은 돈입니다.
this is the greatest movement in
정말
the
이
history
마가는
of our
우리나라
country, and
역사상
we have to take care of our
최고의
people, right?
운동이고 우리는 우리
We have
사람들을
to take
돌봐야
care of our
합니다.
people. You know, it is true.
정말
And you know, look at all that
그렇습니다.
fake news back
그리고 저기
there.
뒤에 가짜
You know,
뉴스를 한번 보십시오.
I say that all the time.
저는 항상 얘기하지만
And you know, if I'm a little bit off with the statement, they say
제가
Donald
조금만
Trump,
잘못
he
얘기해도
lied, he lied, it
도널드
was
트럼프가
terrible. Now
거짓말했다
you have
이런 식으로
lying
얘기를
Kamala, she
합니다.
lies about everything, including
카말라
where she
해리스는
worked.
다
Remember,
거짓말을 하죠.
I worked so hard at McDonald's, it was
자신이 맥도날드에서
unbelievable.
열심히
I
일했다고
stood over the French fries all
감자튀김
summer, winter.
여름,
fall,
겨울
spring.
내내, 가을, 봄 내내
She never worked there. She
감자튀김
lied. You
기에서
know the beauty of that? They'll say,
감자튀김을
"Oh, it's so
했다고
terrible
했는데 다
to bring that up. It's so simple."
거짓말이었습니다.
No, David, the beauty of that, it's so simple. It's so
너무
easy to
간단한
understand. She said she worked like a
예입니다.
dog in McDonald's,
맥도날드에서
and
그렇게
it never happened.
열심히
She didn't
일했다고
work there.
했는데 맥도날드에서 일을 하지
That's
않았죠.
better than some complex,
정말
long
복잡한
story that
얘기보다
I have to
이것
before we
하나로
get to the
그녀가
fact
얼마나
that she's a
거짓말을
no
하는지
good
증명이
liar.
되는 것입니다.
But you know what's more important
더
about
중요한
her? I don't
것은
like her. You know what's more important about her? She's just led the worst rescue operation in history.
허리케인 헬렌에 대해서
in North
정말
Carolina.
최악의 구조
The
작전을
worst.
했습니다.
And we have another big one coming in,
그리고
but the
또
worst, the
더
one in
큰 허리케인이
North
오고
Carolina,
있는데요.
Georgia, Alabama,
노스캐롤라이나, 조지아,
Virginia,
알라바마,
was
버지니아
pieces of Florida got hit.
그리고 플로리다
It
일부
was incredible.
지역이 큰 피해를
The
입었고요.
worst ever, they say. They had no
또
money. You know where they
최악은
gave the
그들이
money?
돈이
To
없다고 하는
illegal
것입니다.
immigrants coming
그들이
in,
불법
many of
이주자들에게
whom are
돈을
killers,
주었고
many of
좀
whom are
많은
drug
자는
dealers,
살인자,
many of
마약
whom
거래
are gang
사람들이죠.
members, and
갱단들.
many of whom came out of prisons from
그리고
all over the world.
전 세계
You know, they come
감옥에서
out of
나온
prisons
자들.
all over the world, and they drop them in our country. And you know that the prison population all over
감옥
the world is
인구수가
down
전
because they
세계에서
put them in our country.
줄어들었다는
They
거
come from the
아시죠?
Congo in
왜냐하면
Africa. Many
그 아프리카
prisoners from the
콩고 등
Congo.
모든 그
Welcome
감옥의
everybody.
죄수들을
Welcome. It's
우리나라에 다
lovely to
버려놨기
have you.
때문입니다.
They come from the Congo. They come from the Middle East.
중동에서도
They come
오고요.
from Asia. They come from all over the
아시아에서도
world.
전
They
세계에서
also come
우리나라에
from
들어오고
South
있습니다.
America, but not as many as you think. A lot.
남미에서도
But you know, everyone
들어오지만
thinks they come
생각하는
from
것처럼 그렇게 많지
a few countries
않습니다.
in South. No, they're coming from all over the
정말
world.
전
They're
세계에서 들어오고
dumping them in our
있고요.
country
그들을 우리나라에
because
버리고 있습니다.
they think we have stupid
왜냐하면
people leading our
우리가
country,
그
and on
지도부가
that I
정말
agree with
어리석다고
them.
생각하기 때문입니다. 저도
Sleepy Joe.
동의하고요. 슬리피 조.
Although Joe's looking pretty good lately, I tell you,
저는 최근에 좋아
he's looking pretty
보이더라고요.
good compared to Kamala.
카말라에 비해서
Right?
그렇지
First
않나요?
time, I said, you know,
처음으로
this
그렇게
guy's starting to
보이더라고요.
look sharper.
훨씬 더 똑똑해
He's starting to
보이기
look
시작하고
sharper because we're
있습니다.
comparing it, and he's angry at her, and he
그
hates her.
카말라를
The only
싫어하고
question is,
카말라에 화가
I think he
났습니다.
hates her
저는 카말라를
almost
그가
as much
싫어한다고
as he hates
생각합니다. 저만큼이나
No,
카말라를
and
싫어한다고
I think he
생각합니다.
might be willing to.
그리고
He can't take much more. It was an overthrow. Okay, it was an overthrow.
완전히 그
And he's having a hard
전복이 된
time
거나
saying, you know, he
마찬가지죠.
did it
쿠데타가
voluntarily. He
일어나서
didn't.
빼앗긴 거나
They pulled out.
마찬가지죠.
You know what they did, right?
그들이
Article
어떻게
what?
했는지 아시죠?
25. That's what they did.
수정헌법
And they said,
제25조를 적용하겠다고
"You're sick.
했습니다.
You're not going to go on. He got 14 million
그는
votes.
예비선거에서
He got
1,400만
14.
표를
Think of it.
받았지
He got 14.
않습니까?
She got none.
그녀는 한
And
표도
this
받지
was really,
못했고요.
this was an overthrow. This is the first overthrow, or you could call it a coup. Do you want to call it a coup? This
쿠데타의
was the first
쿠나
coup in the history of
그
America.
전복 정변이라고
David,
말할
you're
수
an expert on this
있습니다.
stuff, right? Wouldn't you say? First coup in the history of America.
우리나라 역사상 첫
But
번째로
look, I say
일어난
to all
쿠데타입니다.
Pennsylvania patriots, we have to.
펜실베니아
I
애국자들은
just said, do me a favor. You got to see this because we had over 100,000 people in a beautiful area, but not exactly highly populated.
그렇게
They
인구가
came
많지
from all over,
않지만
100,000 people
아름다운
Saturday night. Take a look.
지역에서 랠리를 했는데 그 모습을 한번 보실까요? 그 버틀러에 얼마나 많은 사람들이 모였는지 그걸 이제 보여주고 있습니다.
That's something, huh? Isn't that something? We have some very big ones coming. We have some very big ones coming.
정말 대단하죠?
We just rented Madison Square Garden. We're going to make a play. We're going to make a play for New York. It hasn't been done in a long time. It hasn't been done in many decades, but we're going to make, how could New York be run worse than it is, right? With all the problem, everything is corrupt in New York, and we're going to make a play, and let's see. I mean, I think that, you know, the migrants have taken over Madison Avenue. They've taken over Fifth Avenue. They've taken over the parks. The kids can't play Little League. You know, it sounds like a trivial thing. It's a big deal when you have a son that's a Little League player and he can't play. So we're going to go Madison Square Garden. We went to the Coliseum, Nassau Coliseum. We could have filled up the Nassau Coliseum 3 times. It was incredible. We left there a few weeks ago. It was incredible. So we're doing Madison Square. We're going to go to the arena in Atlanta if we can get it. We're going to go to the arena in New Jersey if we can get it. You have to get it. But we're doing arenas because the crowds are so big. And we're making a play for New Jersey. We're making a play for Virginia. We're making a play for New York. New Mexico. Minnesota, where this lunatic comes from. I'm doing well, and you know why I'm doing well in Minnesota? Because he's running.
제가 미네소타에서 왜 잘 되고
supposed to
있는지
be the
아십니까?
opposite way, right?
그가 나와
If
미네소타
Kamala
출신이기
Harris gets 4
때문입니다.
more years, she will annihilate the Pennsylvania energy industry,
만약에
plunging
카말라 해리스가
communities across the
당선된다면
Commonwealth into darkness and despair. That's what's going to
정말
happen.
암흑과
Your
절망을
jobs will
가져올
be
것입니다.
down,
여러분의
and your
일자리는
salaries will
사라질
follow.
것이고
Congratulations,
임금도
everybody.
낮아질 것입니다.
Not going to let it happen. We're not going to let her destroy. You know, she destroyed San Francisco.
그녀가
We're not
샌프란시스코를
going to let her
망가뜨렸죠.
destroy this country.
그녀가
She
우리나라를
shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be.
망가뜨리게
You
놔두지
know, how would you like to
않겠습니다.
be me? We spent $150 million
우리는
destroying
거의 1억
Biden,
달러를
which wasn't that hard,
바이든과
actually. All
싸우는
you
데
had to do is
썼습니다.
hold up his record. But we had the debate, and then
그런데
after
우리가
the debate, he was
토론을 했고
down so much, and they
토론을
went to him.
하고
That's when they
지지율이
went to
더
him.
격차가 더
So we get rid of
커졌습니다.
him. This is like a fighter.
이는
A fighter's
거의
doing badly. He's
파이트와
losing badly. And Dana White says, well, you
같습니다.
know what I'll do? I'll put in another
데나
fighter to fight.
화이트가
You got to take
얘기한
2 people.
것처럼
And so
만약에
now
두
they
명이
put
싸우는데
this
한 명이
total
잘못하면
Marxist,
한 명은 다시
communist
새
person in
선수를
there.
교체하곤
But people
하죠.
have figured it out. She had a very bad day yesterday, and
그런데
we're going to talk
사람들이
about
이제
that.
좀
She had a
실체를
bad day.
파악하기 시작하고
She had a
있습니다.
bad day.
그녀는
Kamala
어제 진짜
Harris
인터뷰를
was one of
취하고
the
있습니다.
original
카말라
sponsors
해리스는
of the socialist Green New scam. You know that.
사회주의 그린 뉴
Where they want to
사기
spend
그게
$93
원조
billion.
주창자고요.
93. No, they want to spend actually. She's spending $93 billion in a short.
930억 달러를 진짜 빠른 시간에 짧은 시간에 썼는데요.
$94 trillion to be spent.
근데
94.
94조
Listen to
달러를
this. That's
쓰려고
more than
했습니다.
China and the
이는
rest of the world could spend if they really wanted to in 25 years. 94 trillion. We're going to
정말
clean the air
엄청나게
so that
많은
when China
금액입니다.
comes here and takes us over, they'll have a nice clear atmosphere because that's what they're doing. They're sacrificing our military and everything
그들은
else.
군대를
These people are
희생시키고
crazy. She said repeatedly
이들은 정말
that she wants to
미친
ban
자들입니다.
fracking her whole life.
그리고
We will ban
수압화세를
fracking.
계속
We will stop.
반대했었죠.
You know, I flew over some of those beautiful windmills. They're falling down,
저는
by the way.
제가
They're all over
풍력
the place.
발전소
They're all
좀
over the
위를 좀
place. That gorgeous,
지나왔는데요.
beautiful Pennsylvania countryside. They got these
정말 그건
big,
다
ugly
망가지고
suckers
있었습니다.
hanging down. They're rusting and rotting.
녹슬고
Half of them weren't
썩고
spinning, and the ones that were going so slow.
그리고
They were
일부는
going. It's
돌지
not too
않고
windy, but you know,
정말 천천히
they're going
돌고
like slow. The other ones were just dead, but they're all
아예
rusting and
망가진 것도
disgusting
많고
looking.
정말
And then, you
녹슬어서
know, the
너무 끔찍해
environmentalists
보이더라고요.
say that it's also, very importantly, the most expensive form of energy there is. You
그리고
cannot get
가장
more expensive.
비싼
The wind,
에너지가
it sounds so
풍력
wonderful.
발전 에너지입니다.
The wind is bullshit. I'll tell you, it's
바람은 진짜
so
정말 쓰레기
expensive.
같은 것입니다. 너무
just too
비쌉니다.
expensive. It doesn't work.
너무 비싸고
All
효과도
of that to
없습니다.
do, you know, 1/10 of 1%. I mean, the whole thing is crazy. You remember when I used to say, "Darling, I want to watch our
제가
president
항상
tonight on
얘기했던 거
television."
아시죠?
And the
제가
husband looks, I'm
사람들이
sorry,
이제
the
대통령이
windmills
TV
aren't
나오는
wind.
것을 보고
There's no
싶은데
wind tonight. You can't
어머,
watch, darling.
오늘
We're not
바람이
going
안
to be watching
불어서
tonight.
TV를 켤 수
Maybe we'll
없겠다
catch
이렇게
him
되는
another
거죠.
time.
다음에
No, we have to
봐야지
be
이렇게
careful. We
되는
have to be smart.
것입니다.
We're going to lose our country. These people are
이렇게
crazy.
되면은 정말
They're crazy.
우리는 나라를 잃고 말
They're
것입니다.
damn crazy. We're not going to. We are
그들은 정말
not. We're going to get
미쳤습니다.
out. We're going to vote.
우리는
We'll get it cleaned
그들을
up.
쫓아내기 위해서
But if we don't clean it
꼭
up
투표를
now,
해야
it's going
합니다.
to be too
만약에
late. I really
지금
believe
그들을
it.
몰아내지
We don't
않으면 너무
clean it up
늦습니다.
now.
지금
It's
그들을
going to
몰아내야
be too
합니다.
late. She sponsored a bill to impose a
그녀는 또한
100% ban on gasoline-powered cars and trucks. You know
가솔린
that.
차와 트럭을 100% 없애는 법안에 찬성을 했습니다.
100% is none. There's none.
100%.
Even though we have more liquid gold under our feet
우리가
than any
우리
other
발
nation.
밑에
By
액상금이
far,
그렇게
more than
많은데도
Saudi Arabia,
말입니다.
more than
사우디아라비아,
Russia.
러시아보다도
Let's go
그렇게
electric.
많은데요.
Let's do this. They want to go
전기차로
now
다 가자고 하는
hydrogen. They want a
것입니다.
hydrogen car. You know
그리고
what the
수소차도
problem is?
원하고요.
When they
수소차의
blow up,
문제는 폭발하면
you are unrecognizable. If
여러분이
this
거의
beautiful
형상도
young
알아볼
woman
수
is in the
없게
car, driving,
죽는다는
and the
것입니다.
hydrogen car, if it blows up, you're unrecognized. You with a nice Trump sign. Is that Trump? Stand up. Let me
트럼프
say.
사인인가요? 한번 일어나
I
보실까요?
like her.
와, 정말
I like
멋있는데요.
her.
저분이 좋습니다.
I will not allow her to go into a hydrogen car. They don't blow up that often. They were saying, that, yeah, but they don't blow up that often. Oh, great.
그렇게
Thank you very much. And as
너무
we
자주
speak,
폭발하지
Kamala
않는다고
is
하는데 수소차는
crushing
위험하죠.
Pennsylvania with a natural
펜실베이니아를 카말라
gas
해리스는
export ban. You know about that, right?
천연가스 수출
Designed to choke
금지까지
the life out of your
찬성했습니다.
fossil fuel industry. Listen to
그리고
Kamala
탄광산업도
in her own
망가뜨릴
words very
거고요.
recently.
카말라 해리스가 최근에 했던 발언들을 한번 영상으로 보시겠습니다.
I am committed to passing a Green New Deal and finally putting an end to fracking once and for all.
If they fail to act as President of the United States, I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal.
I am offering a Green New Deal that has been described as one of the most aggressive and progressive.
Well, he's going to bring the Green New Deal up for a vote.
Yeah, I will vote for it. It is a resolution. I believe that the underlying principles behind it are sound and important.
What is the solution for voters who have jobs and interests in the fossil fuel industry?
Giving the workers an ability to transition into the jobs of the future.
Can we afford it?
Of course we can afford it. It's not about a cost.
Kamala Harris pushed the far-left Green New Deal. That means huge new taxes, increased utility bills, and banning gas cars.
That's why I am committed to passing a Green New Deal and finally putting an end to fracking once and for all.
Kamala just don't give a frack.
Kamala's fracking ban would kill jobs and raise gas prices. Kamala doesn't give a frack about you. Only President Trump will bring back Trump's strong economy.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Thank you.
감사합니다.
So when I'm president
그래서
of the
제가
United
대통령이
States,
되면
and we did one great job. We did great in
제가
2016. We actually
2016년에
did much better in 2020, but we're going to be very careful. We're not going to let that happen.
저는
again.
2020년 선거에서
On
더
day
잘
one, I will tell
됐지만
Pennsylvania
그에 대해서
energy
더
workers to
말씀드리지
frack,
않겠습니다.
frack, frack, and
우리가
drill,
이제
drill,
대통령
baby, drill.
당선되면은 펜실베니아 수압
We're gonna
폐쇄와
frack,
그리고
frack.
그리고 에너지 채굴을
We
에너지
will have
시출을 할
energy
것입니다.
independence and
우리는
energy
에너지 자립을
dominance as
이루고
we did
에너지
just
주도권을
4
잡고
short years ago. We were energy independent 4 years
4년
ago. Can
전만
you
해도
believe?
우리는
Now we get
에너지
our energy
자립을
from Venezuela.
이루었고요. 이제
What's that all about?
베네수엘라에서
From Venezuela. Is
에너지를
that
얻고
wonderful?
있습니다.
But if Kamala is reelected, your
카말라가
costs will go up and your
재당선되면은
lights will go out. That's what's going to happen. These stupid people. It's hard to believe. You know, you get angry because they just sometimes you get and you
여러분의
want
그
to be
에너지 비용은
lighthearted,
더
right?
올라갈
And we have a
것입니다.
great audience that people that love the country, people that built the country. You built the country.
여기
And then you
진짜
see
정말
these
우리나라를
people,
건설한
they want to
분들도
destroy
랠리에
it. And by
참가하고
the end of your speech,
계신데요.
you're furious. You know, you're furious because all the stuff that we're saying, it's true. They want to destroy the country.
그들은
Remember,
그들이 하는 얘기를
she will never,
들어보면은 그들은
ever let
우리나라를
you frack. You're not going to frack.
파괴하려고
If she
합니다.
won, you're not going to
수압
frack.
파쇄를 절대
She's been
허용하지
against it
않을
her whole life. She
것이고요.
just did this for an election.
지금
Even now,
잠깐
Kamala's Green
선거
New Deal
때문에
mandates
수압
are
파쇄를 반대하지
regulations
않은
that
척하는
are
것뿐입니다.
impossible to enforce. As
그래서
an
그녀가
example,
당선되면
forcing
그린 뉴
power
딜의 그
plants to
규제로
shut
인해서
down all across the
여러분은 거의
country.
모든
More than
것을 하지
50
못하게 될
plants
것입니다.
have recently been closed. So she took
50개의
office
발전소가
and they
벌써 이미
are
문을
not going
닫았고요.
to be replaced. And you know, all you have to do with her is say like all the things. She's
여러분이
going
해야 할
to do this.
일은
She's going to do that. Why the hell didn't you do it? Why didn't you do it?
이렇게 묻는 것입니다.
All of a
항상
sudden,
이렇게 하겠다 저렇게
all
하겠다
of a sudden,
하는데 왜
she likes walls. You know, I
3년
built
전에
over
그렇게 하지 않은 거죠?
500 miles of wall. It kept us. We had the greatest
저는
border in history.
500마일의 국경
4
장벽을
years ago, we had the
건설했고
best border
최고의
in our
국경을
country's
유지하고
history, and that
있었습니다.
included human trafficking, mostly in
그리고
women, by the
인신매매,
way.
주로
That
여성을
includes, so when women
인신매매하죠.
say, "Oh, I don't know if I like
그
Trump,"
인신매매도
I was the one.
정말
That is the most heinous thing.
제가
Human
대통령일 때
trafficking, mostly
가장
in women.
적었습니다.
Gee, I wonder what that's all about, right?
인신매매 중에 여성을
and then they
가장
say,
인신매매
"Oh, I
많이
don't know, I'm
한다는 거
gonna-"
너무 끔찍하지
Kamala's
않습니까?
not going to protect anyone. They've
카말라는
allowed this
누구도
country
보호하지
to be
못할
poisoned
것입니다.
at our border.
우리나라를
And you know, a lot of people
중독시키고
say, and this is not part of the deal, but I like to go off teleprompter if you don't mind.
저는 프롬프터에서 벗어나서
I
좀
actually
얘기를 하고
haven't.
싶은데요.
I don't think I've been on it yet. I haven't. They're waiting for me. At some point, I'll be on it. But you know, they're actually. They're doing these things. Nobody can
그들은
understand it. It
누구도
doesn't make
상상하지 못하는
sense.
그런 일들을
Like
하고 있습니다.
men playing in women's sports,
남성의
like
여성
open
운동 경기
borders
참여,
where
열린
criminals are
국경,
allowed in.
범죄자들이
And
들어오고
literally, by the time, I must be very good as a motivator because by the time I
저는
finish
굉장히
my speeches, every
동기부여를
time
하는
I'm angry as hell because I can't believe
그런
what's
역할도
happening to our
하고
country.
있는데요.
What they're
그녀가
doing
하는 말을
to our
보면은
country.
진짜 우리나라에서
Last year,
대해서
Pennsylvania's
어떻게
largest
하는지 정말
coal-fired
믿을 수가
power
없을
plant shut down
정도입니다.
in Homer City, throwing hundreds and
펜실베니아의
hundreds
가장
of
큰
workers
석탄
out. Just
공장도 문을
devastating. They got
닫았고 그리고
nothing.
수많은 사람들이
A small little
일자리를
community of
잃었습니다.
1,800 people.
그래서
Does anyone know where Homer
거의
is?
1,800
Huh? Right?
명에 있는
Stand up. Let me
커뮤니티,
see you.
적은
Look at
커뮤니티
that. Are you
호목라는 곳 아십니까?
Are you the man? I remember. You know that guy's become famous.
저분
Wow.
정말 인기
Are you the
많으신
guy,
분인데요.
right behind me? Right behind me?
제 뒤에
You're the guy
있던
that was
분이죠.
looking, you're looking. You know, I
버틀러에서
love this guy.
총알이 어디서 날아오는지 보시던 분이죠.
What's your first name?
이름이 뭔가요?
What's your name?
이름이 뭐죠?
This guy,
이분은
he became like more famous than me because
저보다 더
you know,
유명해졌습니다.
okay. Do we have time? Yes.
우리 시간 있죠?
The hell with these things. They're boring. Very boring. Now
텔레프론터는 좀
this guy,
지루하잖아요.
he was the guy. No, look, I'm
이분이
looking at him in the audience. I see him. But when the shots were fired,
총알이 날아오고
typically
있을
crowd
때
control people, everyone
보통 사람들이 그 인원
flees. Now, in all
통제하는
fairness to the
사람들이
people
다
sitting,
얘기하는데
we had a
다 도망가죠. 그런데
tremendous crowd. That
정말 그때
horrible
있던
day,
분들은
actually,
정말
horrible day.
대단했습니다. 정말
But we had
끔찍한
a tremendous crowd.
날에
He was behind me.
그가
with a
제
group of
뒤에
people
있었습니다.
like, you know, 2-3 times the size of this. It was a
이 뒤에 있는 분의 거의 두세 배 정도 되는 분이 있었습니다. 그리고 99%가 제 앞에 있었고요. 근데
So they say that
이분이
when a shot is fired in a
그래서
stadium
총알이
like a
날아오고
soccer
있을
game,
때
everyone they call them
만약에
stampede.
총알이
They
하나만
stampede. They get out,
날아와도
and a lot of
축구
people get
경기장 이런
killed. They get
데서는 모든
crushed. They
사람들이
get
다
stepped
우르르
on.
몰려서 도망가곤 합니다.
Nobody left.
그런데
There,
누구도 움직이지
with the big
않았습니다.
crowd or there, but him.
근데
I mean,
이분이
I don't want to say in particular because nobody left. Nobody
그
left
뒤에
those
있는
stands.
누구도 움직이지
Normally, and there were a
않았습니다.
lot of shots being fired. There
정말
were 8
총알이
shots
많이
being
날아오고
fired right over
있었는데요.
me. But what happened is we look back and it's such a famous thing now.
정말
And there's one
대단히
guy
그
that's
유명한
standing.
영상이
I didn't know you
되었는데
were
제
going to be,
뒤에
and I didn't know he
있는
was going to be
분이
here. They gave you a
오늘
good seat. They
여기
should give you a good
올
seat.
거라고
So-
상상하지 못했는데
so listen
정말
to
좋은
this.
자리에 앉았네요.
Right. So this man,
그래서
and he's
이분이
back a few rows, and
제 뒤에 있는 몇 줄 뒤에 앉아 있었는데요.
only not leaving, he's standing up.
그냥 있었던 것뿐 아니라 총알이 어디서 날아오는지 찾아보고
He saw a lot of
있었습니다.
blood all of a sudden, and he knew what happened.
무슨 일이
And all he
일어났는지
cared about is I
알았죠.
want to
그래서
get that guy. But then the sniper, our sniper, took
그
him out. And
총격범을
by the
찾고
way, as a
있었습니다.
local police
그리고
too,
우리
they did a
그
good job.
저격수가
Local
총격범을
police did a
잡았고요.
good
현지
job.
경찰도 아주 일을
But that
잘했습니다.
guy, I said,
그런데
there's a guy, David, I said, there's a guy I want in the foxhole. Right? We want him in the foxhole with me. If
만약에 어디 여우 속으로 들어가도 저분이
because he stood up,
있으면은 살
he
것
didn't care
같습니다.
about the
그는
bullets. He was
총알을
standing. All he
상관하지
wanted to do is
않고
find that guy. He said, there's
어디서
a guy
총알이
over there.
날아오는지를 찾고
And yet some other
있었습니다.
people too.
몇
We
분 더
appreciate it.
계셨는데요.
Thank you very
정말
much.
너무너무
Great honor.
감사합니다. 진짜 영광입니다. 감사합니다.
I love people like that.
저는 저런
I love
분들이 너무
people like
좋습니다.
He's like a movie star.
그리고
He's
영화
become
배우
a movie star.
같습니다.
I'm telling you. We love him.
정말
The head of the
좋아합니다.
plant at Homer City said that Kamala's
호머시티의
EPA had
발전소에
imposed a quote
그 회장이
excessive economic and operational burden. It wasn't
그
possible to
너무
keep it open.
그
It's
심한
being done on
환경
purpose.
평가로 인해서
They're
정말
taking
경제적인
plants that are
부담이 너무
perfectly good,
가중되었다고
that are
하더라고요.
not polluting
하나도
any more than
오염시키지도
anything else
않고
would, and they're closing them up and they're forcing you to use energy that's 10 times and 20 times more
그리고 문을
expensive and
닫게
doesn't
하고
even work.
10배는 더 비싼
One local
에너지를 사용하게 하는
businesswoman said that her
것입니다.
life had been
한
turned upside
현지에서
down by what
비즈니스를
happened,
하는 분은
and a local
정말
union leader
완전히
called the
경제가
closure,
엉망이
quote,
됐다고 하더라고요.
absolutely devastating and totally unnecessary. And I hope whoever owns that plant can just keep it around for a few months, just
그냥
keep
그
going,
발전소
because
공장을
we're going to let
운영하는
that plant
분은
go
몇
for a
달만
long
좀
time, okay? So you got to tell them,
참고
Homer,
운영을 해주시기 바랍니다. 그렇게 되면은 제가 대통령이 되어서
you don't have long to go.
제대로 잘
I actually told
운영을
the
할 수 있도록
people in North Carolina who
만들어드리겠습니다.
have been just devastated. I told them, I said,
노스캐롤라이나에 정말
look,
큰
just
피해를
hang in for a few months. You know, it's tough to say. Hang in for a few
허리케인으로
months.
피해를 많이
But
입었죠.
we
그래서
take
제가
office
몇
on January
달만
20th. I said
좀
everything will
견디라고.
be beautiful
1월에
once I
제가
take
대통령이
office.
되면은
Everything's going
모든 것이 다 나아질
They
것입니다.
spent all their funds. They have no funds to take care. They have no
그들이 이제
funds.
FEMA에
They have
돈이
no
없다고
workers. They
하죠.
have no nothing.
일할 사람도 없고.
we had such a good FEMA. We had
제가
FEMA
대통령일 때
was great under
FEMA는
Trump. That I
정말
can tell you. We had
대단했는데요.
tremendous success. Under these demented and self-destructive Kamala
이런
Harris
그
policies,
자기
Pennsylvania
파괴적인
electricity
정책으로
prices
카말라
are up
해리스 하에서
50% and are
에너지
projected to
가격이
rise by another
50%
50% this year.
올랐고
So
올해
you're
더
going to be up
오를 것으로
100%.
예상이 되고
Does anybody
있습니다.
mind? No, you're making a contribution to the environment. Right?
환경에
Except you won't
기여를
have
하고
any money
있다고
left, you won't have a house left, you won't have a country
집이
left, you won't have
남아날까요?
a
나라가
commonwealth
남아날까요?
left.
그리고 우리
Even the
커먼웰스도
grid operators
남아날까요?
themselves say that if the insanity continues, Kamala will crush the electrical grid of the United States
그리드를
of
운영하는
America.
분들도 카말라 해리스가
But we will
되면
not
정말
let her do it,
남아나지
will
않을
we?
것이라고
We're not going to let
합니다.
her do it.
하지만 우리는 그렇게 용납하지
She's bad news. She
않을
doesn't even know where the
것입니다.
hell she is. They ask her questions like a vacuum. What?
그들이 그녀에게 질문하면
No, I don't want to be
그녀는 완전
nice. You know,
정신없죠.
somebody said you should be nicer. Women won't like
제가
it. I said I don't care.
사람들이 그 친절해야 된다고 사람들이
Oh, they say
얘기하거든요. 여자니까. 근데 아닙니다.
A guy came up to
어떤
me
사람이
today. He
오늘
said, "Sir,
저에게
you really should be
와서
nicer to her. The women won't like it. The women
여자들이
want
좋아하지
safety, and the
않으니까
women want to have a
좀
country
나이스하게
that they
하라고
can be
하는데
proud of." I think.
여성분들도 자랑스러워할 수 있는
Anyway,
나라에
so
살고
today
싶지
I make
않을까요?
Pennsylvania this
그래서
promise: I will
오늘
stop the energy
펜실베니아에
price hikes. I will
약속드리겠습니다.
stop
에너지
the
가격의
plant
상승을
closures immediately,
멈추고
and we will
그리고
restart the plants that
공장에
Kamala
폐쇄하는 것을
has very
막고
cruelly closed. I mean, you know, they don't know.
그리고
There's
카말라
thousands
때문에
of jobs
닫았던
involved, people
공장들을
that have
다시
worked there for
가동할 수
25
있도록
years or longer.
하겠습니다.
And we're not going to let it happen. I will terminate the Green New Scam
그리고 그린 뉴
immediately.
사기극을
I want the
끝내고
cleanest water.
저는 당연히
You know,
가장
I don't know if you know, in
깨끗한 물
my 2 last years, we had the
원합니다.
cleanest water we've
제가
ever had. We
대통령일
had the
때 물이
cleanest air
가장
we've ever
깨끗했고
had.
공기도
And we
가장
had the most
깨끗했습니다.
jobs and the
그리고
most
일자리가
factories
가장
working that
많았고
we've ever had.
가장
And
많은
the jobs they
공장들이
picked
가동되고
up
있었습니다.
were what called bounce back jobs. They were bounce back.
그들이
They
일자리
were the
수치가
people that
늘어났다는
took off for
것은
the COVID, the gift, I call it
코로나
the China
때문에
virus because I
일자리가
want to be
줄었다가
accurate.
차이나
And-
바이러스죠.
and they bounced
줄었다가
back.
다시 일자리가
I will end the
회복된 것, 그것의
destruction
효과를
of
받은
our
것뿐입니다.
electrical grid. They are destroying our grid. It's already in bad shape. I'll tell you right now, but
그래서
they are
전기
destroying.
그리드를
We'll make.
벌써
Isn't it
망가뜨리고
amazing?
있거든요.
We
정말
don't have
대단하지
any
않습니까?
electricity,
전기가
but they want to
없다면
go all electric cars. Think of that.
그런데
Now think of
전기차를
these. I'm just thinking.
의무화한다고요?
we're talking about all
정말 말이 안
electric,
되는
and I love
일이죠.
electric cars. You know
전
why?
당연히 전기차를
Because I
좋아하죠.
think
왠지 아십니까?
Elon is great.
일론이 너무 훌륭하기 때문입니다.
But you know what?
그런데
I
말이죠.
like them for what the market is. There's a market. I think they're great. I think it's incredible. But the
전기차는
long
훌륭하지만
distances and they are more
먼 거리를
expensive
가는
to make, and a lot
거나
of them are going to be
그리고
made in
비싼
China.
것 그리고
But
중국에서 많이 생산된다는
you know
거.
the amazing thing about Elon
그런데
Musk?
일론은
He
정말
went to that
훌륭한
rally. I
점은
think he had the greatest time he's ever
와,
had. Did
그때
you see?
진짜 랠리
He
정말
was jumping
최고였습니다.
around. He was
그는
so
막
happy. You know,
점핑을
he's
하고
always like I
있었습니다. 너무
envision him. He's sort of a
행복했습니다.
reclusive kind of a guy. He's incredible. He's a total genius. We have to take care of
진짜
our
그분은
geniuses.
정말
But
천재입니다.
he
우리는
comes up
천재를 돌봐야
and he's
하고요.
looking at this crowd. He's never seen anything like it. He said, and he started doing like jumping jacks and stuff. No, he was just
더
happy.
줄여요?
I said, what's he doing back there? I was just give him a quick introduction. He had a great time, and you know he got a black hat. I didn't even know we made black
그리고
hats.
검정색
And it
모자를
said-
썼더라고요.
And it said, "Make America
거기에
great again."
미국을
But
다시
it was
위대하게
very low, you know,
만들자.
very sort of
그렇게 써 있더라고요.
understated. But a black hat. He
그렇게
loves
잘
that
눈에
hat.
띄지 않는데
And he
그는
called it
그
dark MAGA, right?
모자를 정말
who thinks
좋아하고
of it?
다크 마가라고
Dark
하죠.
MAGA.
누가 그런 생각을
And I
해냈을까요?
called him. I told him, "Thank you very much. We sold like
제가-
10,000 hats in the last 2 days."
그에게
I didn't even know
고맙다는
we
전화를
made that
했습니다.
hat. Now I find
우리도
out
그
it's like the
모자가
hottest
우리
thing
그
going,
모자를
dark
파는데
MAGA.
10만
No,
개
he's
이상 팔렸다고
fantastic.
하더라고요.
And he's
정말
going
우리가
to do a
그
lot. He's going to
모자가
be
있는지
involved. It's
몰랐는데
great,
정말
and
그는
he's going to be involved
대단합니다.
because we have so much fat in this country. We have
우리나라에
so
정말
much waste
낭비적인
and
지출이
fat and
많으므로
fraud.
그가 이제 정부에서
But he's
일하면
also,
정말 많은 일을 할 것으로
I will tell you,
생각합니다.
there is the funny thing with Elon, he never. With all I talk about
일론에
electric
대해서
cars,
정말
and I'm totally
흥미로운
for electric cars for
점은
the, you know, whatever
저는
the
당연히
buyer wants to buy, it's
전기차를
good, but if you
응원하죠.
can't force them down people's throats. You can't do that. Like
근데
the
전기차를
mandate. We're not
일부러
doing mandates.
의무적으로
So
사게
you
할
can't do that. So
필요는 없습니다.
just so you understand,
그래서
so he never wants, and he's a friend of mine. He's great. He
그는
endorsed
제
me. He
친구고
endorses me so
저를
much.
정말
We have to get him.
강력하게 지지해
Trump,
줬습니다.
we're going to lose our country if Trump. You know,
우리가
he's in
트럼프가
Pennsylvania
이기지
now campaigning.
못하면
Elon Musk.
우리나라는
Because he
끝날 거라고
feels so
하고
strongly. But
펜실베니아에서 지금
But
선거
you know the
운동을 해주고
amazing thing?
있습니다.
A big
정말
company
대단한
is
것은
Tesla. It makes great cars.
테슬라는
great,
정말
they
좋은
make,
차들을
really amazing
만들죠.
cars. He never once
그런데
said, "Could you ease up on the electric thing?" You would think
전기차에
he would
대해서
have said,
조금
"Hey, listen,
살살
do me a
얘기해 줄 수
favor.
있냐고
Could you- I could take
그런
it out
부탁을
pretty
저에게
easily,
절대
right?
하지
A
않습니다.
sentence. It's a sentence in a speech, but he never asked me to.
저한테
Because I
그런
think he
부탁을
knows
하지
that he's gonna
않았습니다.
do great. And there's people that like him. I like him too for
당연히
certain
사람들이 그를
applications.
좋아하는
But
분도
he
있고
never
저도
think of
그를
it.
좋아하죠. 근데
And he's close to me. He never said, "Do me one favor, just
전기차
sort of low-key." I
의무화
would, if I were him,
폐지
I'd
이런
be
거에
saying,
대해서 너무
"Hey,
강하게
listen,
얘기하지
Trump,
말아달라고
do me a
저에게
favor.
부탁을 하지
Don't
않았습니다.
mention electric cars
제
again.
목소리가 잘 안 들리나요? 좀
That you're going
말씀해
to do away,
주실
and
수
we're not doing
있나요?
away. We're going to have whatever the market wants. We're going to have gasoline power. We're going to have hybrids. The
제가
hybrids are
대통령이
great.
되면
They're
가솔린
working good.
차를 원하는 분들은
We're going to have
가솔린 차를
everything.
사고
We will make
하이브리드 원하는
Pennsylvania
분은
an
하이브리드를
energy
사고
supplier to
모든
the
게 다
entire world, and I
가능하게
will cut your
하겠습니다.
energy prices
저는 또
in half, 50%, 50.
1년 안에
Within 12 months
50%로
of
에너지
taking
가격을 낮추겠습니다.
Your prices will be cut in half.
그래서 여러분이 내는 비용이 반으로 낮아질 것입니다.
Now she, on the other hand, if her
그런데
mandate,
카말라
look,
해리스는
number one, you won't have any energy because they can't produce enough. No
당연히
matter what
그녀가
they did,
되면
they can't produce
에너지도
under what she
없어질
wants to do.
것이고요.
But even if they did, your prices are going to be double, triple, quadruple.
그리고
You're not going to be
가격이
able to
거의
afford
2배, 3배, 4배로
We have
높아질
more, I
것입니다.
say,
항상 제가
we have more
얘기하죠.
liquid gold than
우리에겐
any country in the
어떤
world. It's going to be so
나라보다도
quick
많은
and so
기름이
easy
있다.
to do. We
그리고
have more than
빠르게
Saudi
에너지를
Arabia. We have
수출할 수
more than
있고요.
any country in the world.
사우디아라비아보다
And we're going to take advantage of it if that's okay. And
그래서
it's
그
pure,
에너지를 이용할
sweet,
것입니다.
beautiful
정말 질이
stuff.
좋은 에너지고요.
But for that to happen, the people of
그런 일이 일어나기
Pennsylvania have to
위해서는
tell
펜실베니아
Kamala Harris that we've
여러분이
had
카말라
enough. We think
해리스에게
you're a
우린 참을
horrible
만큼
person.
참았다.
We think you're a liar.
당신은 정말 거짓말쟁이고
Right? We think you're a liar. We think you're not a smart person, and we're
똑똑하지도
tired of
않고
having stupid people
너무
run our
지겹고
country.
바보 같은 사람들이 우리나라를 이끄는 게 싫고
And we're going to say,
그래서 우리는 이렇게 얘기할 것입니다.
Kamala,
카말라
you're
당신은
fired. Get the hell
해고야.
out of
여기서
here.
당장
Get
나가.
out of here.
당장 나가. 이렇게 말할 것입니다. 근데 제 목소리 잘 안 들리나요? 더 트럼프 대통령 목소리를 더 줄여야
Get the
해요?
hell out.
당장 나가라고 그렇게 말할 것입니다.
Despite all of the devastation she's caused your
그녀가
Commonwealth,
초래하는
she said
너무
yesterday
절망에도
she has no
불구하고
regrets. Did you see
그녀는
that?
어제
You'll see it in just about
여러분이
2 seconds. Go
보셨겠지만
ahead, put it on.
한번 영상을 같이 보실까요?
If anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had
제
impact.
목소리만 들리는 것도 조금 별로고 트럼프 대통령 목소리랑 같이 들려야 되거든요.
I think the other one asking the question is dumber than Kamala. So that's like she's a dummy.
질문하는
I watched her
사람은
over
더
the
바보
years. That is
같습니다.
one
저는
dumb.
몇 년 동안
that is one
지켜봤는데
dumb
정말
woman.
바보 같은
Sorry.
여자입니다.
I'm sorry, women. She's a dummy.
여성분들
The
죄송하지만
only
그녀는
one that
진짜 바보
agrees with that
같습니다.
more than me are the women in the audience.
여성분들이
So-
더 동의할 것 같은데요.
So think of this, what she said.
그래서
No, I
생각해 보십시오.
can't think of anything.
어떤 것도
Did you see she froze?
그냥
Did
완전히
you see where her
얼었었죠.
teleprompter went out?
텔레프롬터가 꺼졌을
Her
때 그녀가 어떻게
teleprompter
했는지
went out, and she
보셨습니까?
said it was
텔레프롬터가
32
꺼졌을
days or
때
something before the election.
32일 남았다고 이제 선거가.
32,
근데 계속 32, 32만 반복하더라고요.
32. She was freaked out.
어쩔 줄을 몰라
Thank
했습니다.
God that sucker went back on.
텔레프롬터가 다시
I don't know what
켜진 게
she
얼마나
would have jumped
다행인지.
off the stage.
아니었으면 단상에서 뛰어내렸을
Now, when you do
것입니다.
this stuff, you know, I would say probably 15, about 15% of the time, the
거의 한
teleprompters they go
15%
out.
정도 텔레프롬터가
And
꺼집니다.
either you, like, can you imagine? It goes out for Joe Biden.
조 바이든이 얘기하는데 텔레프롬터가 꺼진다면
He's
상상하실 수
no good with the
있습니까?
teleprompter blazing, right? No, it's gone out with him a couple of. You know what he does?
그는
he
어떻게 하는지
stops.
아십니까?
Looks around, and he walks off. But he can
멈춰서서
never find the stair,
그러다가
so it's a problem.
다시 내려갔는데
He's
계단도
looking
못
around for
찾습니다.
stairs. Has anyone seen a stairway? We have more stairs on these platforms. I
이
don't know what the hell
단상에는
it is. It must be
정말
a fire
계단이
problem. There's like
많습니다.
6 stairs. And do you ever
거의
notice he
6개
can never
있는데요.
find his way off
근데
the platform?
바이든은
Secret
단상에서
Service
내려가는
does a great
방법도
job
못
in that respect. They
찾습니다.
come up, they get him, they
그래서
walk them off.
경호팀이 그분 올라와서
But he looks better.
바이든을
I'm
데리고
telling you.
가죠.
As I said,
그런데
he looks better now than I've ever seen him looking. He's
요즘에
angry.
바이든이 더
He's
좋아
angry at her.
보이더라고요.
There's going to be an
카말라에게 화가
explosion
난
before the
거죠.
election with them. Those two are going to be. There's going to be an explosion. Did you see he
그
held a
선거
news
전에
conference right
그
in the middle
폭발이
of her
일어날 것
one big
같은데요.
event that she's had
그
about 2 weeks?
카말라가 이벤트 할
He
때
got up and held a news
바이든이
conference. He
갑자기
walked into the
브리핑
room.
룸에 들어와서
Nobody ever does
한
that.
것을
He walked into the
보셨죠?
room and
갑자기
this is a
들어와서
news conference. Oh.
기자회견이라고.
And then he just died after, but it didn't matter.
근데 상관없었습니다.
Can you
카말라가
believe that our
연설할 때
country is
딱
being run by
들어왔거든요.
these people?
이런 자들이 우리나라를 이끈다는 거 정말
So she
믿으실 수
said she had
있습니까?
no regrets,
그래서
everything great. She'd do the same
카말라
thing as this
해리스는
guy,
하나도
right? This
후회가
really
없다고 하더라고요.
sad, pathetic
정말
guy.
안타깝고
So after
한심한
the surrender
일이었습니다.
of our
그래서
energy independence,
우리는 에너지 자립을
the Afghanistan
그녀 때문에 버린 후에
horrible,
아프가니스탄에
most
끔찍한
embarrassing
철군이
moment in
있었습니다.
history.
우리나라
We
역사상
lost 13
정말 최고로
soldiers,
수치스러운
great soldiers.
순간이었습니다.
We
13명의 군인들이
billions and
목숨을
billions of
잃었고
dollars
정말
behind. We
수백억
left Americans
달러의
behind. You have Americans right now in
군사
Afghanistan,
장비를
and they
두고
cannot be
왔고
happy,
정말
right?
많은
They're probably,
미국인들을
many are
두고
probably
왔습니다.
dead.
많은
The
사람들이
border
죽었겠죠.
invasion,
그리고
right? The
국경
border
침략.
invasion. How about the 13,099
그리고
illegal aliens convicted of
13,099명의
murder?
살인
They're
유죄
roaming free.
판결을
That's
받은
okay. In
살인자들이
other words, these
우리나라에
are all
돌아다니는
things that are
것은요.
okay. These are all things that are okay. How
이게 다
about, to me, the worst of all, because
말할
it's
수
not even
있을까요?
imaginable. She's lost during her 3.5 years
3년 반 동안 더
325,000
끔찍한 것은
migrant children.
32만
They're
5천
gone.
명의 이주
Nobody knows where they
아동이
are. Many are
실종되었다는
dead.
것입니다.
I would
그
say
많은
most are
수가
dead. We
정말
don't know.
죽었겠죠.
Probably won't
대부분은
find out.
죽었을 것 같은데요.
But many are dead. Most are dead.
알 수
Many
없죠.
are in
그리고 많은 수가
sex slavery.
성노예가
Many are in
되었고
slavery.
노예가
But they're many dead.
되었고
325,000
5천 명의 이주
young
아동이
kids. Think of it. You could fill
실종되었습니다.
up Yankee Stadium
양키
many, many
스테디움을
times.
몇
Think
배나
of that.
채울 수 있는
Many, many times.
숫자입니다.
325,000.
32만 5천
They're
명.
gone. Nobody, the parents, and
사라졌습니다.
the parents want them back.
부모들이
Nobody
당연히
even talks
찾고
about it. The fake news
싶겠죠.
doesn't talk about it.
근데 가짜 뉴스는 보도도 하지
This, in
않습니다.
terms of humanity, this is
정말
bigger than anything you
인류의
can even imagine,
관점에서
right?
인간적인
This is the biggest
관점에서
thing.
정말
And
최악의
she
일입니다.
she thinks it's okay because
그런데
she said,
카말라 해리스는
"No, I
이를
don't think I
괜찮다고
changed
생각한다고요?
anything." All of the
바이든이
stuff would
한
have
일에 대해서
stopped.
하나도
The
바꿀
worst
게 전혀
inflation
없다고요?
in the
최악의
history of our
인플레이션
country, costing
우리나라
everybody
역사상 최악의 인플레이션, 일반 가정이 $29,000의 부담이 가중되었는데도요. 그런데 아무것도 바이든의 정책에서 바꿀 게 없다고요? 인플레이션은 중산층을 정말 망가뜨렸습니다. 그리고 정말 고정 수입을 받는 시니어들의 삶도 정말 힘들어졌고요. 우크라이나는 또 어떻습니까? 제가 대통령이었다면 우크라이나 침략은 절대 일어나지 않았을 것입니다. 절대 전쟁이 없었을 것입니다. 푸틴은 절대 침략하지 않았을 것입니다.
And that was okay with her. You remember what she said?
그녀가 얘기한 거 기억나시죠?
She didn't know where the hell she was. She said, "No, I'm fine. No, this is, I wouldn't have done nothing." How about the October 7th attack on Israel?
10월 7일 이스라엘 공격은 또 어떻습니까?
How about the fact that the United States is a laughingstock all over the
미국이
world?
전 세계 조롱거리가 된 것은
How about she failed
어떻습니까?
on the witch hunts against her political opponent?
그리고 정적에 저에 대한 마녀 사냥을 실패한 건 또 어떻습니까?
Banana republics.
제3세계 바나나 공화국 같은 마녀 사냥을 하고 있죠.
The one in Florida was thrown out.
플로리다의
And
문서
yet
사건은
Biden's
기각되었습니다.
document case.
그런데 바이든의 문서
They ruled on him.
사건은 그들은
They said he's
어떻게
guilty.
결정을 냈냐면은
Right?
당연히 죄가 있지만
documents for 50 years.
50년 동안이나 문서를 가지고 있었죠. 저는 대통령 기록물법의 적용을 받았고요.
He lost his case.
저는 이겼고 그는 졌습니다. 그런데 죄가 있지만 능력이 없고 기억력도 없고 여러 가지 이유 때문에 재판을 할 능력이 없다고 했습니다. 그런데 대통령은 할 수 있다고요?
Okay. No, think of that. Here's the ruling. He's not fit. He's got no memory.
그 결정이 어떻게 났냐면은 기억력도 없고 그래서
But he can
재판을
run
할
the
능력이
presidency, but he cannot
없다고
stand
그렇게
trial.
결정을
They released him
내렸습니다.
on the basis
그런데
of that.
대통령을
The
할
trillions
수
of
있다고요?
wasted dollars on the Green New
그리고
Scam.
그린
All
뉴
that money is
사기극에
not only
수조
wasted,
달러를
it set us way back,
낭비한
way
것.
back. And the worst hurricane response
그리고
since
최악의 허리케인
Katrina.
대처,
She doesn't want to
카트리나
have a
이후로
do-over with what's happened to North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, all the states
노스캐롤라이나,
that we just
조지아,
mentioned.
엘라바마 이런 지역이
Kamala
정말 큰 타격을
Harris
받았는데도요.
Could not think of
카말라
one thing
해리스는
that she would
하나도
do differently.
바이든이
And it's
했던 것과
strange because when I saw that
것에
question, I
대해서
said, "Oh, this is
바꿀 게
going to be
전혀
a long
없다는
answer."
그런 대답을
Because she
했습니다.
could have done it in a nice way. I wish I would have done this on the border. I wish
카말라는
we would
얘기를
have
잘 할
closed
수
up the border. I
있었죠.
wish we didn't
국경을
have the
닫았으면
horrific
좋았을
acts of
뻔했다.
violence against all of those children and all of
그리고
the things.
아이들에
She could
대한
have-
폭력이
she could have
일어나지
really
않았으면
done-
했다. 이렇게
And I
좋게
said,
대답을
"Well,
할
this
수
will be a good
있었는데
answer." She didn't know what the hell to say.
무슨
But think
말을
of it,
할지
it was a
몰라서
softball
그냥
question. It
하나도
was meant that she
바꿀
was,
게 없다고
and she said, "No, I
했습니다.
would have done
정말
everything."
쉬운
So all of
질문이었는데도
the
말이죠.
agony, all of the
그래서
suffering, all of the
그런
inflation
고통,
and the border and the
인플레이션,
criminals coming into our
국경 그리고
country,
범죄자의
she wouldn't have
침략
done anything different
그녀는 하나도
than
바꿀
this
게
guy
없다는
that should
대답을
have
했습니다.
really never been president, in my opinion, should have never been
바이든은
president.
아예 그 대통령
So,
자격도 없었지만요.
She said that
그녀는
there'd be nothing, and to me that is a disqualifying answer. That should
절대 바이든이
disqualify
한
her from
것을
even
바꿀
running. If that's going to be the
게
case,
하나도 없다고 했습니다.
she
그래서
should be
더 자격이
disqualified
절대 없습니다.
from even
자격을
running.
상실해야
She's an
합니다.
incompetent person.
출마할 자격도 없습니다. 무능한
She's
자입니다.
grossly incompetent.
그녀는
She
정말
cannot be
심각하게
trusted,
무능하고 믿을
and
수
she
없는
is totally
자이고
ill-equipped to do the job.
그리고 일을
of
할
being
자질이
president of the
없습니다.
United States.
대통령이
I
될
know all of
자질이
them.
없습니다.
I know President Xi.
저는 시 주석을 잘
I
알고요.
know Putin. I know
푸틴도
Kim
잘
Jong-un
알고
of North
김정은,
Korea.
북한의 김정은도
Biden,
잘
He
알고
said, "Oh,
있습니다.
that's a tough situation in North Korea. We had no problem. I got along
제가
with them very
대통령일
good. A little
때는
rough start,
그
right? Remember,
북한과
little
처음에는
rocket
초기에는
man.
좀 문제가 로켓맨
Remember when he
등의
said, "I have a red
얘기를
button on my
하면서
desk"?
좀 문제가
That
있었지만
was very
나중엔
threatening
관계가
sound. I have a red
좋았습니다.
button on my desk. I
그
said, "I have a red button on mine
책상에
too, but
빨간
mine's
버튼이
much bigger
있다고
and mine
했죠.
works."
그리고 저는 이렇게 대답했습니다.
And then-
내 책상에는 레드 버튼이 빨간 버튼이 있는데 그보다 몇
And then
배는
he
더
called me
버튼인지
and he asked for a
알다.
meeting, and we had a meeting.
그래서
First time anyone's
그
ever met. I
북한이
said to
저에게 미팅
Barack
요청을
Hussein
하고
Obama. Has anyone ever
그래서
heard of
미팅을
Barack Obama?
했습니다. 버락 후세인 오바마 아시죠?
Remember Rush Limbaugh? He used to
러시
go, Barack
림보
Hussein
아시죠?
Obama.
그는 항상 버락
Barack
후세인 오바마라고
Hussein Obama.
강조를 했습니다.
No. But he told me that the toughest thing when we sit before it's a beautiful thing actually. You know, the president sits with a new president coming in. He said the biggest problem we have by far.
그래서 오바마가 가장 큰 문제가 북한이라고 했습니다. 하지만 제가 대통령일 때는 북한과 전혀 문제가 없었습니다. 만약 어리석은 자들이 들어오면은 또 문제가 생길 수도 있죠. 그리고 우리는 협상을 잘 하고 있었는데요. 북한에는 정말 핵무기가 많습니다. 우리나라는 정말 호러쇼 같은 4년을 겪었습니다. 더 이상 4년을 더 이렇게 보낼 수 없습니다. 정말 심각하게 무능한 자가 대통령이었는데요. 근데 카말라 해리스는 조 바이든보다 훨씬 더 무능합니다. 우리는 절대 이런 일이 일어나게 내버려두서는 안 됩니다. 저는 항상 우리 군대가 훌륭하다고 얘기하는데요. ISIS를 제거했었죠.
I knocked out ISIS. They said it would take 4 to 5 years. I did
거의
it in
4-5년
about a
걸린다고
month.
한
Right? And we
일을
knocked them
저는
out.
4주 안에
ISIS를
제거했습니다. 케인, 제너럴 케인 장군 아시죠? 우리 군인들을 거의 2년 반 동안 가둬두고 워크 이념을 주입하려고 해도 절대 워크가 되지 않을 그런 군인들입니다. 과거의 군대, 트럼프 군대, 그리고 지금의 워크 군대. 영상을 하나 같이 보시겠습니다. 다른 채널을 언급하지 않으셨으면 좋겠는데요.
I got your name. I got your ass. You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride Month. And actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
So you're a killer? Sir, yes, sir. Let me see your war face. Sir, you got a war face? Ah! That's a war face. Now let me see your war face. Ah! Bullshit. You didn't convince me. Let me see your real war face. Ah!
I hear it and I know I know you wanna take.
You will be a weapon. You will be a minister of death, praying for war. But until that day, you are pukes. You are the lowest form of life on earth. You are not even human fucking beings. You are nothing but unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian shit.
How to abracadabra, these bitches know I got answers the way I.
It looks to me like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress. I love working for Uncle Sam. I love working for Uncle Sam. Let me know just who I am. Let me know just who I am. 1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps. 1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps.
정말 비교가 확실히 되네요. 제 매팅님 안녕하세요.
So, it's a little exaggeration, probably.
조금 좀 과장되었지만.
But what's happening to our country is
우리나라에 일어나고 있는 일은 우리는 우리나라를 지켜야 합니다. 펜실베니아는 정말 이 여자가 대통령이 되는 것을 막아야 합니다. 그녀는 세금의 여왕입니다. 여러분의 세금을 올릴 것이고요. 그래서 적어도 1년에 $3,000 이상 더 내야 할 것입니다.
And on day one, I will repeal that tax bill. Joe Biden and I are about to work to get rid of that tax cut.
Joe and I are about to get rid of that tax bill.
Joe Biden and I are about to get rid of that tax cut.
Everything from a 70 to 80% tax rate.
I think that's fantastic.
We've got to increase the corporate tax rate. Part of that is going to be about repealing that tax bill that they just passed. And also looking at estate taxes are going to have to go up.
We will tax capital gains.
But we're going to have to raise corporate taxes.
It's just a new way of looking at things to say, we're going to tax what you don't have. That's a sore point, and it's a big deal. Is that something you think she firmly believes in?
I think it's part of the proposals of the campaign.
Taxing unrealized gains just doesn't seem fair in any sense of the word.
I think that this reaction to unrealized gains is a little funny, given that I bet that the majority of people watching right now are already paying a tax on unrealized gains. It's called a property tax. When the value of your home goes up,
It's a use tax.
when the value of your home goes up, you pay higher taxes even if you don't sell your home.
Your value of your home never moves the way the stock moves, the way something else moves.
That's always the go-to answer.
Under my plan, there will also be a carbon fee. There has to be some connection between the fee and bad behaviors, and there has to be, in that we have to monitor whether it's going to be passed on to consumers. But I'm going to tell you that should never be the reason not to actually put a fee, and in particular, a carbon fee.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up.
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up.
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Yeah, we're going to cut your taxes.
네, 저는 여러분의 세금을 낮출 것입니다.
I've been involved in politics not that long on this
저는
side.
그렇게 오랫동안 정치를 하지 않았지만 저는 정치인이 세금을 올리겠다고 정치 선거 운동하는 것을 본 적이 없습니다. 정말 말이 안 되는 일이죠. 그런데 데이빗, 우리는 세금을 더 낮출 것입니다. 데이빗이 꼭 당선시켜야 하고요. 그는 정말 훌륭합니다. 그 최고 중 하나가 될 것이고요. 카말라는 1929년 스타일의 경기 침체를 가져올 것입니다. 저는 낮은 세금, 적은 규제, 낮은 에너지 가격, 낮은 이자율, 그리고 낮은 인플레이션, 최고의 경제를 가져올 것입니다. 벌써 제가 4년 전에 이를 이뤘었고요.
Nobody's ever seen anything like what we had. I was shaking hands with people. I said, "How you doing? We did great 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
정말 4년 전, 5년 전에 다들 너무 잘 살았다고 하는 것입니다. 그런데 그 이후에 잘 안 되고 있다고요. 그리고 이자율도 10%, 제가 대통령일 때 2%였는데 10%로 높아져서 그런데 돈을 구할 수 없다고요.
12. How about
하더라고요.
13? How about 15? So it means it's much higher. It's not 10%. You can't get the money. Nobody can get the money at 10%. We will pass tax cuts for workers like you haven't seen before.
근로자의 세금을 더 낮출
And we will
것이고요.
have
그리고
no tax on tips,
팁에
no
세금을
tax on
부과하지
overtime,
않겠습니다. 초과
and
근무
no
수당에도
tax on
세금을 부과하지
Social
않고
Security benefits for our
시니어의
great
사회보장
seniors.
보장보험금에도 세금을 부과하지 않겠습니다.
No tax. Take a look at this comparison chart. There's nothing like
이
a
비교
chart.
차트를 한번
It's actually
보실까요?
not my favorite chart. I have another one
제가
that's
더
much more of
좋아하는
a
차트가
favorite, but that's
있는데요.
okay. You see that?
한번 보실까요?
We went on every look. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is this. We shouldn't even have to campaign.
정말 선거
should be an
운동을 할 필요가
automatic.
있을까 생각합니다. 이렇게
To
차이가
bring jobs
나는데요.
back and
그
factories
일자리와
back
그 공장을
and
다시
wealth.
가져오고
All we
부를
want to
다시
do, we want to
가져오기
bring
위해서
wealth back to
우리는
Pennsylvania. We
당연히
want to bring wealth back to our
펜실베니아에 다시
country.
부를
We
우리나라에
will have
다시
a
부를 가져오고
15%
싶습니다.
made in America corporate tax rate.
미국에서 제품을 생산할 경우
You know, I took it
기업의
from
15%의
39%
세금을 부과해서
to 21%.
훨씬 세금을
Everyone said it
낮추겠습니다.
couldn't be done.
제가
By the way, Steve
대통령일 때
Moore was a great
39%에서
guy. You know
21%로
Steve
기업에
Moore,
대한
great
세금을
economist.
낮췄었는데요.
He wrote a book,
스티븐
The
무어가
Trump Miracle.
트럼프
And, the
기적이라는
book is number one
책을
book.
썼습니다.
Just won
지금
it. You know whose
베스트셀러가
book is also
됐는데요.
like number one?
또 넘버원은 책인 뭔지 아십니까? 멜라니아라는 책입니다.
Her book is number one. Her book is number one. I got a call today.
저는 전화를 받았는데요. 빌 오라일리 아시죠?
You know Bill O'Reilly? I like Bill O'Reilly.
저는 빌 오라일리를 좋아하는데요. 정말 좋은 분입니다.
He went through it, but he's very good, and he's very good with books. He said, "Yeah, Melania replaced me as number one on the list."
멜라니아가 내 책보다 더
That's the way to go.
많이 팔린다고 그렇게 말하더라고요. 그래서 제가
no,
당연히
she did a
그렇죠.
great book.
그렇게
Yeah,
얘기를
go out and get that
했는데요.
book.
정말
That's a good
좋은
one. That's a
책이고요.
good one.
여러분도 구입하셨으면 좋겠습니다.
I think she treated me well. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about it.
멜라니아가 저에 대해서 좋은 얘기를 많이
I would
썼나
stay so far away. I
봅니다.
said, "Do me a favor." I just wouldn't mention it, but now I did.
아니면
Cutting
제가
the
말도 안
tax from
하겠지만
21% to 15. So we
그래서
got it down to 21.
21%에서 저는 기업에 대한
Then I
세금을
said,
15%로
You know what?
낮추겠습니다.
If we bring it 21 makes us pretty competitive with the world. Just so you know, our
21%도 우리
companies are all trying to be
회사들에게
stolen.
경쟁력을
And a lot of
부여하는
companies are
세금
lower than 21. So I want to bring it lower,
과세인데요.
and I
그래서
wanted to
더
originally
세금을
got it
낮출
down to 21.
것입니다.
Everyone said that was impossible. Got it approved by
21%도
Congress.
원래 가능할
Now I want to
것이라고
get down to
생각지
15,
못했던
but only for
숫자인데요.
those
근데
companies that make
15%를
their product
우리나라에서
in
제품을
America. Isn't that a
생산하는
good idea?
기업들에게만
You
15%의
make your
세제
product in
혜택을
America. In other words,
드리겠습니다.
you're creating jobs.
즉
Think of
일자리를
that.
우리나라에서
Vivek, is that
일자리를
good?
창출하는
How
거죠.
about that?
비백
I got
어떻습니까?
calls from very smart people
저는
like Vivek.
정말 그 비백
And they
같이
said, where the hell did you
정말
ever come up
똑똑한
with that idea?
사람들의
How simple is it?
연락을
Your
받았습니다.
tax is going to go
어떻게
down from
이렇게 좋은
21%
아이디어를
all the way down to
생각해냈냐고요.
15, which makes us just
21%에서
about the most
15%로 더 낮춘다는 건
competitive. I
말이죠.
think is very
그러면
few.
우리나라
I mean,
회사의
certainly no great
경쟁력이
nation, no
정말
big
최고로
nation.
올라갈 것
You
같은데요.
get it all the way down, but you have to make your product here.
그런데
And I
전제
got a call
조건은
from Wall Street
우리나라에서
geniuses.
물건을
Who the
생산해야
hell
한다는
gave you that
것입니다.
idea? That's a great
월스트리트의
idea. These guys,
천재들이
that's
저에게
all they do is they
물어보더라고요.
think nobody
그들은
ever thought
항상
about that.
그런
They're
생각을
taking it
하는데
down from 21 to
어떻게 이런
15.
생각을
And
해냈냐.
then we have to do
제
something
생각이었죠. 그리고
very important.
우리는 또
Those who
중요한
don't
것을
make
해야
their
합니다.
product in America, and there are those that come in,
미국에서
like
제품을
China and
생산하지
various
않는
others.
그런
They will be
기업들에게는
forced to pay stiff tariffs to.
많은
And remember
관세를
this is a privilege. William McKinley.
부과하겠습니다.
This
윌리엄
is a
맥킨리는
privilege.
이렇게
This is the
말했습니다.
privilege of competing with our cherished companies. So we have companies, we
우리가
have to
다른
protect them.
회사들의 그
And it's the
경쟁력을
privilege of stealing
갖춰줄 수
our
있는
jobs, our treasure,
방법이
and our wealth. They're
관세다.
going to come
이렇게
in and they're going to have
얘기했습니다.
products, and they're stealing from us because they're taking our jobs, they're taking our
우리의 일자리를
companies, they're taking our
빼앗고
wealth.
우리의 물건을 빼앗고
And
우리의
that's
부를
fine because they have to
빼앗는
compete too. But now they're going to have to pay for it.
그런
And they'll have to
회사들은
pay, and
이제
they'll pay
관세를 내야
hundreds of
합니다.
millions of dollars in pretty stiff tariffs. But what we're doing is we're preserving our companies. But we're doing
우리는
something
우리
more
기업을
important.
보호하고
They don't have to pay either, because all they have to do is build their plant in the United States of America.
그들이
and
해야 할
hire
것은
many of the people in
미국에서
those
생산을
firms.
하고
Very simple.
우리나라의 근로자들을 고용하는 것입니다.
Right? David, are you on board?
데이브,
He's on board. Thank goodness.
당신도 저와 함께 하시죠?
Thank goodness. If he said no, I don't know if I could have been so
만약에
enthusiastic
노라고
about
했으면
it.
어떻게
No, it'll make
당신을
us a rich
지지했을지
country again. Right now we own
우리나라는 다시 부자가
$35
될
trillion
것입니다.
because
이제는
of
거의
stupid stuff like this.
35조의
And
국가 부채가
other
있습니다.
countries, China in particular, they've done this for years
중국
and
같은
years and
나라는
years. They built
정말
their country with
오랫동안
money that we pay
그런
them. We pay
정책을
them
써왔는데요.
$500 billion on average a year for years. They built their military with our money.
우리는
So
그들에게
this
거의
will.
한
We want them to do well. I want
5천억
them
달러
to do well. You know, I
이런
made a great deal with
돈을
them. They have to
주어서
buy
그들은
$50
그 돈으로
billion
군대를
a year of product. I
조성하곤
thought they said
했습니다.
15. My guys, I said, what's the number you want? 15. I said 15. Oh, good. But I thought they said 50. So they came to
그리고
me and the
그
deal was
관세를
almost
제가
finished. And it
대통령이었을
said 15.
때
I said, what do you mean 15? You said 50.
150억 달러를 예상했는데 제가 500억이라고
Make it 50.
500억
Go back to them, say,
달러라고
we
알아들었거든요.
made a mistake. They went back and China accepted it. They
그런데
said,
중국이 그걸 받아들였다는
But I
것입니다.
don't even
그래서
talk about it
우리는
because
돈을
of
정말
COVID. I don't
많이
even mention
벌었습니다.
we have USMCA.
그리고
We did the deals with
USMCA라는
Japan,
대단한
with South
협정도
Korea. We
만들었고요.
were
그리고
screwed by
일본,
everybody, friend and foe.
한국과 협상을 하고
And
있었는데 우리
the friends did a
동맹들에게도
worse
우리는
job on us
정말
than
많은
the
이용을
enemies.
당했습니다.
The enemies were
진짜
gentler
적은
to us than many of our friends on trade.
우리
But Japan, we
동맹보다
redid that deal.
우리
We
적이
redid South
오히려
Korea.
우리에게
We did a lot of
좀
deals.
살살 대하는 것 같은데요.
We were respected. You know, 5 years ago,
5년 전
we were a very
우리는 정말
respected
존경받는
country.
나라였습니다.
And I don't want to say this too loudly because it could happen, but I don't fall downstairs. I don't fall on platforms.
저는
I don't fall
계단에서
off bicycles.
넘어지거나 자전거에서 넘어지거나 그러지 않죠.
I have a great memory. I
저는
can talk
기억력이
about
좋고요.
hundreds of things at one time and always get back to
수백
that
가지
point that you were
얘기를
trying to make.
하고
I can
다시
do
원래
things that
하려고
people can't
했던
do, but you know what?
핵심으로
We have the
돌아오고
biggest,
그런
this is
능력이 있습니다.
the most important period.
이 시기는 우리나라 역사상 가장 중요한 시기입니다. 왜냐하면
This is a nation in decline.
지금
We are a
우리나라는
nation in
쇠락하고
decline.
있기
We're a failing
때문입니다.
nation.
우리는
We're a
망해가고
failing
있고요.
nation. And they have no clue
그리고
what to do.
그들은
She wants to
어쩔
raise
줄을
everybody's
몰라 하고
taxes, and
있습니다.
what they do, you know, today they used to go to
그녀는
different states.
정말
If
세금을
Pennsylvania was high, they
인상하려고
go to
하고요.
another state. But now they go to different countries. Other countries want our business. They want our companies. And a lot of them have left. The pharmaceutical business left.
정말 제약회사나 많은 회사들이 우리나라를 떠났습니다. 근데 제가 대통령이 되면은 그들이 다 돌아올 수밖에 없도록 하겠습니다. 그래서 우리는 관세로 정말 많은 돈을 걷어들이고 우리나라를 강하고 부유하게 만들 것입니다.
You know, we used to be an all-tariff country in the 1890s, 1880s, 1890s,
1880년대, 1900년대 다 관세가 중심을 이루는 시대였죠. 그때 가장 부유했고요. 너무 부유해서 위원회를 만들어야 할 정도였습니다. 관세위원회. 1887년 같은 경우 그래서 그 많은 돈으로 어떻게 할까를 구상하는 그런 위원회였습니다. 그리고 그 다음에 이제 소득세가 생겼고
steal our treasure and our jobs, steal our wealth. And honestly, we've never really been the same. The country made so much money, and other countries lived. They were fine. But we're like taking care of the whole world.
그래서 전 세계를 다 돌보고 있었는데요. 이제 다시 전 세계가 우리를 돌볼 시기가 왔습니다.
And we're going to pay off debt.
그래서 우리는 국가 부채를 줄이고 세금을 더욱 줄이고
we gave you the tax cut.
제가 대통령일 때 가장 큰 폭의 감세를 단행했습니다.
And we did more business with our revenues were greater with a much
그리고
smaller
그렇게 세금을 낮췄음에도 불구하고 국가 수입은 더 늘어났었습니다.
As a country, we did much more business. We had great years. My pro-American trade policies are one of the major reasons why I've been overwhelmingly endorsed by the rank and file membership of the Teamsters Union. They haven't
일반
endorsed.
팀스터즈 조합원들의 아주 큰 지지를 받았습니다.
Including 65%. I got a 65% number from the Teamsters.
일반 조합원 펜실베니아에 있는 팀스터즈 조합원들이 저를 지지해 주었습니다. 정말 좋은 분들입니다.
Look at these guys. That's great. Thank you very much.
너무 감사합니다.
That's great. Thank you. Now we got the firefighters endorse us. You probably
그리고
heard they haven't.
소방관들도 저를 많이 지지해 주셨고요.
Wow. Look at that.
저분들을 보십시오.
That's a very good-looking group of human beings.
정말 너무 좋아 보입니다.
That's nice.
정말 좋습니다.
Thank you very much. Wow. I didn't know you'd be here.
여기 오실 줄 몰랐는데
the
너무
firefighters,
감사합니다.
I guess they haven't. Every year for 60, 70, some crazy number of years, they always automatically do the Democrats.
원래 그
and the rank and
팀스터즈
file said we're not
그
doing that.
조합은 항상
they
그냥
voted
자동적으로
overwhelmingly
민주당을
for me.
지지했는데요.
And,
일반 조합원들의
heads
저에
always
대한
have a problem with
지지가
that. They always
너무너무
have a problem.
강력해서 그
And
민주당을
the same
대놓고
thing
지지할
happened
수
with the Teamsters.
없었습니다.
And that's happening also with the auto industry because
자동차 산업에서도
United Auto
마찬가지입니다.
Workers are you're not going to have
UAW는
any jobs unless they vote. And
만약에
if they
제가
vote for me,
대통령이 안
we'll have more
된다면
autos being made in
자동차
this country
산업은 거의
than at
없어지고
any
말
time
것입니다.
since the heyday, which was about 60 years ago, because all it is a one-way street out of our country. We're going to rebuild the auto industry
제가
in our
대통령이
country.
되면
We're going to make
자동차
it so
산업을
good
다시
and so powerful
부흥시켜서
and so
정말
great.
강력하게 만들 것입니다.
So firefighters, thank you very much. We love you
소방관님들 너무
guys. That's good.
감사하고
Teamsters, thank you very much.
팀스터즈 너무 감사합니다.
Great people.
정말
No,
훌륭한
that's
분들입니다.
great. See, they don't go necessarily by the heads. Although I have to say, the head of the Teamsters is a terrific guy, tough guy.
팀스터즈의
He was fine with it. He was
조합장
okay. He wants to go
숀
with,
오브라이언도
what the
너무
people
좋은
want.
분인데요.
Sean O'Brien, he's a great guy, and I
훌륭한
don't
분입니다.
know as well the firefighters, but as far as I'm concerned, he's a great guy. Has to be good. I like people that like me. Don't we?
저는 저를 좋아하는 사람이 좋습니다. 그분들이 저를 좋아하면 저도 좋아합니다. 그래서 정말 너무너무 감사드립니다.
Have you put out any fires lately?
불을 최근에 큰 불이 일어난 적이 있습니까? 정말 정말 담대한 배짱이 있는 분들입니다. 이곳에 함께 하신 분 중에 데이브 맥코믹 차기 상원이 오셨고요.
I know him for a long time.
정말 오래 알았었는데요.
Everything was the best. He was the best student. He went to the
그는
best schools. He
최고의
went out business,
학생으로서
became one of
정말
the most
가장 좋은
successful guys.
학교를
Ran one of the biggest
갔고
funds
사업도
and
너무
very successfully.
잘했고.
And I don't know. You sure you want to do this? Yeah. I think I've talked a lot of people out of it. They see what I go through. You know,
하고 싶은가요? 저 같은 일을 겪기 싫을 텐데요. 저는 정말 알카포네보다 더 많은 수사를 받고 기소를 당했습니다. 스카페이스 아시죠? 저는 알카포네보다 더 많은 수사를 받았습니다. 그들은 수사관을 그 알카포네는 수사관을 죽이기도 했죠. 데이빗, 빨리 잠깐 나와주실까요?
All right, well, thank you. Great to be in Scranton with the next president of the United
차기
States.
대통령과 함께하게 되어서 너무 감사합니다.
President Trump, we're so honored to have you here, and we are committed in Pennsylvania to putting you back in the White House and changing the majority of the Senate and sending Bob Casey packing. So thank you for being here.
밥 케이스를 해고하고 상원의 다수를 차지하기 위해서 노력하고 있습니다.
You know, what happens in Pennsylvania is going to, or what happens for the country depends on what happens in the next 27 days. And as you know, Mr. President, I was a wrestler. Lots of wrestlers here in this part of Pennsylvania. And I wasn't the best wrestler, but I always knew in college if I could get into the third period within a point or two, I would win. Because the third period
제가 세 번째 피리어드에서 이제 레슬링을 할 때 그때 가장 중요한 것이 정신력입니다.
It's about fight, fight, fight.
Thank you, Mr. President. 정신입니다. 지금이 그런 시기고요. 대통령님 감사합니다.
Thank you, David.
RA 타이거님 너무 감사합니다. 항상 처음부터 저를 지지해 주셔서 너무 감사해요.
We have somebody else that I think
그리고
is amazing. I had to
정말 훌륭한
compete
분이
with
또
this guy.
오셨는데요.
And I thought it was going to be easy, but it wasn't. He was nasty.
저랑도 대결했었는데 정말 아주 똑똑하고 정말 대단한 분이었고 많은 사람들이 모르는 거를 정말 잘 알고 있는 처음에 아주 신인으로 시작해서 아주 똑똑한 정치인들을 많이 제쳤고요.
And then one day he came up to me. He goes, "You know, I don't think I'm going to beat you." I said, "You're not going to beat me."
그리고 저를 상대하러 나왔었죠. 비백 말하는 것 같은데요. 정말 훌륭한 분이고요. 너무 똑똑하고 우리 정부에서 꼭 좋은 일을 해주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
Because we can put him in charge of one of these big monsters, and he'll do a better job than anybody
정말
you can
큰 일을
think of.
맡기면 누구보다도 일을 잘할 것 같습니다. 그래서 비백 너무 감사합니다.
Great guy. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great job. Great job. No, he's tough. Tough and he's smart.
정말
Before I go to a
터프하고
couple of
똑똑한
great,
분입니다.
really warriors, I want to
그리고 많은
introduce in a way
전사분들이
another warrior,
오셨는데요.
Callista, will you please
칼리스타
stand up?
일어나 주실까요?
Oh. You can stand up anyway. No, I know, I'm only kidding. I know you are, and I know. Thank you very much, Joe. I
정말
appreciate
감사합니다.
it. Thank you very much, darling. Appreciate it. You look great. Thank you. Congressional candidate Rob Bresnahan.
하원 의원 후보 Rob
How's that going,
Bresnahan.
Rob? Good? Thank you very much.
정말 감사합니다.
County Commissioner
그리고
Chris
카운티 커미셔너
Shermack
크리스
and Mayor.
셔맥 그리고
Thank you very much,
시장님
Chris. Good job you're
감사합니다.
doing. Mayor Carl Curran.
칼 쿠란
Thank you. Where's
시장님.
Carl? Thank you. He's here. I shook his hand a little while ago.
얼마 전에 조금 전에 악수를 했는데요.
Hello. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much, Mayor.
정말 감사합니다,
I also want to
시장님.
send our love to everyone in Florida. They're
그리고
going through a big one
플로리다의
tonight.
모든
It's going to arrive tonight
분들께
sometime around midnight, a little before midnight,
오늘
and we're praying for
괜찮으시기를
them and asking God to
바라겠습니다.
keep them all safe. All those people.
하나님께서
I've never
모두를
seen a
다
hurricane like that. I
지켜주시기를
don't know.
이런 허리케인을
So
본 적이
often, you know,
없는데요.
they talk about it and they talk because they want you to watch. This is the real deal. This is
어떨
a bad
때는
one.
그냥 말만
And we
하는
have some
그런
great governors,
경고일 때도
great
있는데요.
Republican governors that
정말
are in
무서운
charge. And I
허리케인입니다.
think they'll
근데
do a phenomenal
주지사분도
job.
훌륭하고 일을 정말 잘하고
They're going to do a
있습니다.
phenomenal job. But here are some facts.
여기
Kamala
카말라
Harris is a
해리스에
radical
관한
left
사실들이 있는데요.
Marxist, rated
그는
even worse than
급진 좌파
crazy Bernie
미치광이
Sanders.
그
Actually,
마르크스주의자고요.
rated even worse than
미친
Pocahontas.
버니 샌더스, 포카혼타스보다도 더
Has
좌파입니다.
anyone heard of Pocahontas?
포카혼타스 아시죠?
She was an original creator of defund the police
그리고
movement, and
경찰 예산
anybody who wants
삭감의
to
그
defund
원조
the police for even 1
주창자였습니다.
week is not
한
worthy of
주만
being
경찰 예산
president
삭감을
of the United States.
주장했어도 절대 대통령이 될 자격이
She
없습니다.
was one of the originals. Defund the police. We want to defund the police. You saw when she went up to Minnesota and she was bailing people out that wanted to burn down
미네소타에서
everything. Remember? They
그
said,
도시를
it's a
파괴하고
friendly
그런 자들을
protest. This poor
보석으로 꺼내기 위해서
idiot
모금
from
운동도
CNN
했었죠.
News, remember?
CNN의
This
그
is a
기자
friendly- then he got hit in the
기억하십니까?
leg
정말
with like a
우호적인 평화적인
rock or
시위라고
something.
했는데 뒤에
hand
완전히
grenade.
막 불이
He
나고
went down.
있었죠.
Remember, he went down. This is a friendly protest. Oh, this is very friendly. And behind him, the
그
entire
뒤에
city of Minneapolis was burning. It was like
도시가
it looked like the
불타고
Second World
있었습니다.
War.
거의 뭐 제2차
No,
세계
it was friendly.
대전처럼
That's a
보였습니다.
terrible thing, but she wanted to bail out all those people that did that
그런데
and
그런 일을
cause death.
저지른
She wanted to
자들
get. She
그리고
got a lot of them
죽음을
out.
초래한 자들을
Kamala Harris
꺼내려는
vowed
구속
to
운동을
abolish ICE. She
했습니다.
wants
그리고
mass
아이스를 해체하려고
amnesty
하고요.
for all
그리고
illegals. She
불법
wants
이주자에게
mass
대규모
amnesty for
사면을
people that
해주려고
have
합니다.
literally look to destroy our country.
우리나라를 파괴하려고 하는 그런 자들을
go to
말이죠.
one thing. It's going to bankrupt your Medicare,
그래서
bankrupt your Social
메디케어와
Security.
사회보장보험을
And
파산시키고
we
말
mentioned
것이고요.
again, she 325,000 migrant children dead or
그리고
in
30만
slavery
5천
right
명의
now.
아동이
And just
실종되었고
plain missing.
노예가
She was the
되었거나
Attorney General
죽었죠.
of
그리고
the state
캘리포니아의
of California.
법무장관으로서
She redefined child sex trafficking. These are
아동
words or phrases.
성매매
assault with a deadly weapon
그리고
and rape
치명적인
of an
흉기를
unconscious
사용한
person. She
폭행
said,
그리고
from now on
의식
they will be
없는
called
자에 대한
nonviolent crimes
성폭행을
and
비폭력
reduced
범죄로 규정했습니다.
sentences according. She pledged to confiscate your guns.
그리고
She's going to
여러분의
take away
총기를
your guns.
압수하려고
I didn't let
하고요.
anybody
몰수하려고
touch that.
하고 저는
Not an
그를
easy
일을
issue. I didn't let it.
맡겼습니다.
Does anybody in the room please raise your hand have a gun?
총기를 소유한 분 계신가요? 이곳에?
That's a tough job. No, she wants to confiscate your guns and endorse a total ban of handgun ownership. What do you do when a bad guy comes into your house? What do you do? A bad guy walks in and he's got his
금지시키려고 합니다. 만약에
he's got
집에
whichever gun you have. If
나쁜
you don't have a
사람이
gun, you're in big trouble, right?
들어온다면
I mean, you need to have. That's what they have the Second Amendment for.
그래서 수정헌법 제2조가
You
있는
know,
것이죠.
the city with the strongest gun legislation. You
가장
can't have a gun. You can't
무서운
get near
총기,
it. You go
강력한
to
총기
jail
법안을 가지고
forever.
있는 주
It's a place called Chicago, and that's got the worst
시카고입니다.
problem, right? It's got
그런데
the worst
가장
problem.
문제가 심각하죠.
She even called for free sex changes for
그리고
illegal aliens in
불법
detention.
이주자 그 구류 센터에 있는 그
All
범죄자,
paid for
불법
by the
이주자들의 성
taxpayer.
전환 수술을
In
무료로
other
제공하는
words,
것을
if you're being
찬성했습니다.
detained and you want a sex change,
구금되어
you
있는데
can
성
get. By
전환을
the
하고
way, aside
싶으면
from the obvious, not such a
해준다는
great idea.
것입니다.
It's
별로
a
좋은
very,
생각 같지
very
않은데요.
expensive
정말
operation.
비싼
And
수술이기도
perhaps
하고요.
most revealing of all, she lied
그리고 최악인
all
것은
about so many different things, but she lied about that little thing called McDonald's. She never worked
맥도날드,
there. And
맥도날드에서
yesterday,
일한 적이 없는데 맥도날드에서 일했다고 했습니다.
Tim
그리고 어제 템펀 팀이
You know why
이렇게
they call them
얘기했습니다.
that?
왜 그렇게 템펀
because they
팀이라고
sell
얘기하는지
tampons
아시죠?
with special legislation
특별 법안을
in boys'
통과시켰는데요.
locker rooms. Can you
소년들이
believe it?
쓰는 라커룸
Says he's a
화장실에
freak.
템폰을
I'm
비치한다는
not allowed to
그런
say that.
법안을 통과시켰죠.
I'm not allowed to say that.
여러분이
By the way,
정말 심한 말을 하셨는데
can you
저는
imagine
그런
if
말을
this
하진
guy
못하겠지만
happened
이런
along,
자가
right? Can you even believe this? And yesterday,
이런 직에 출마한다는 것을 믿으실 수 있습니까? 어제 템펀 팀이 이렇게 얘기했습니다.
the electoral college, taking away all
선거인단을
electoral power
없애고
from
싶다고
basically from the voters of
얘기했습니다.
places like like Pennsylvania, Tim and Comrade Kamala
팀과 카말라 해리스
are
동지는
really a true threat. They are a
정말
true threat to democracy. I'm not a threat to
민주주의에 대한
democracy. I'm the
진정한
one that's going to
위협입니다.
save
저는
democracy.
민주주의에 대한 위협이 아니고
I'm the
민주주의를
one that's
구하려는
gonna save.
사람이죠.
I'm going to save democracy. They are a threat to democracy, and they
그들이
really are
민주주의에 대한
too.
위협입니다.
Also, you know, a big thing that's a
그리고
threat
또
is incompetence is a threat to democracy. It really is.
무능함도 정말
As
민주주의에
much
대한
of the stuff they do,
위협이고요.
I think, is incompetence. But she's surrounded by very smart, very vicious
그래서
people that have to
그녀는
be,
정말
that are
사악하고
very
똑똑한
radical
사람들에
left
의해서
lunatics,
그리고
okay?
급진
But
좌파
they are
미치광이들에
smart,
의해서
in some
둘러싸여
cases
있습니다.
genius. Look what they can do
굉장히
with elections.
똑똑하고
Look what
천재
they do.
같은데 그들이 선거에
They're
저지른
smart.
짓을 보십시오.
And we have to be very
정말
careful.
똑똑한
I talk
자들이고요.
about the
우리는 정말
enemy
조심해야
from within.
합니다.
They're the enemy
내부의
from
적,
within.
그들은 내부의
We have
적이죠.
the enemy on the outside and the enemy
우리는
from
외부의
within. And
적도
the
있고
enemy,
내부의
let's
적도
say
있는데
you talk China, Russia,
외부의 적이라고
North Korea, you
하면은
talk about
중국,
different
러시아,
places.
북한 이런
If you have a
자들.
smart president, that's not going to be a
그런데
problem.
똑똑한 대통령이
But
있다면
the
이는
enemy
문제가 안
from
됩니다.
within is a
하지만
very
내부의
sick
적은
group of
정말
people. I can
역겨운
tell you because I had to go through years
집단들이고요.
of Russia, Russia,
러시아를
and they knew it was
보십시오.
fake. They knew it was
러시아가
fake. How about
가짜인 줄
this? I have a
알면서
son,
저에게
Don, who's a
그런
great guy.
짓을 저지른
He knew less
것입니다.
about Russia.
그리고 제
He knew less about Russia, David, than
아들, 딸,
there's nobody in this room. Is there a child in the room? A child? Is there a young child?
여기 어린 아이가 있나요?
No, he's not that young, ma'am. He's about 70 years old. She's pointing to a guy that's like in his. Where is? Yeah. Okay, so you take a child.
그래서 만약에 아이가 있다고
You take a child who's
생각해
5 years old. He knows more about Russia than my son. He knew nothing. And yet Adam
그런데 아담
Shifty
시프티 시프가
came out of an intelligence hearing, and he said, Donald Trump Jr.
정보위원회
go
청문회에서
to jail
돈
for what he
주니어가
did with Russia. And just
러시아와 한
understand,
일로 감옥에 갈
the whole
것이라고
thing was a
그렇게 얘기한
made-up scam
것입니다.
by him and crooked
다
Hillary and all
완전히
these people. It was a
사기꾼
scam.
힐러리
It
이런
turned out
자들과
to be,
만든
and the writers
조작극이죠.
at the New York Times got Pulitzer prizes for their
그리고 뉴욕
excellent journalism.
타임스가 이런 것을
No, but the thing
보도해서
turned out to
필리처상을
be a scam.
받았습니다. 다
And then they
사기극이라는
admitted
게
they were wrong.
밝혀졌죠.
And we're suing the
그렇게
Pulitzer
인정을
Foundation.
했는데도 우리가
We're saying
그래서
we're
필리처를
demanding
위원회를
that they retract the
고소하고
Pulitzer
있습니다.
prizes
필리처상을
with
다시
damages.
철회하라고요.
And we're doing very well in that case. But think of it. Think of it. He knows nothing
생각해
about.
보십시오. 그는
And I call him. I say, "You okay?"
그래서 제가 돈
He
주니어에게
said,
전화해서
"Yeah, Dad, I know
괜찮냐고
nothing about what they're talking
물어봤죠.
about. I have
그는
nothing to
무슨
do
얘기를
with
하는지
Russia.
모르겠다고 하더라고요. 러시아와
Absolutely.
관계도 없는데.
Here's a sleazebag that goes out and says, "My son is going to go to jail."
그 아담 시프는 정말
on
비열한
a con
자입니다.
job that he made up
정말
along
그가
with
꾸민
Hillary and
사기극
some of the others.
힐러리
Now think of
등과
it.
꾸민 일로
How bad you have to be
저희를
to do
모함한
that. He knows
것입니다.
it's a phony story.
거짓
They got caught,
이야기인
and
줄
now they've all
알면서
admitted it was a con.
이제
It was
사기극이라는
it was
것을
a
다
hoax, as we
인정했죠. 다
said, a
사기극.
scam. And they tell me my son's going to go to jail. And they all know it's a hoax.
그런데 사기극인 줄 알면서 제 아들이 감옥에 간다고 그렇게 말한 것입니다. 그래서 정말 역겨운 자들이고 우리는 그들을 다 쫓아내야 합니다. 선거로서.
But with your vote this November,
11월
we're
여러분의
going to
투표로
defeat these
우리는
radical left
이 급진
lunatics.
좌파 미치광이들을
And we're going to
이기고
finish the job that we so brilliantly started. We
우리가
had the
시작한
greatest
일을 끝낼
economy in the
것입니다.
history
제가
of the
대통령일
world.
때
Think of it, what we had
우리나라는
going.
세계
On
역사상
day
가장
one, I will
최고의
seal the border. I will
경제를
stop the migrant
이루었었는데요.
invasion.
첫날
And we will
전역경
begin the
맞고 이주자
largest
침략을
deportation
막고
operation in
사상
the
최대
history of our
규모의
country.
추방 작전을 시행할 것입니다. 영김님
And I
너무
don't want to do that. I have a
감사합니다.
heart. I have a bigger heart than most of the people in
저는
this room. Let me tell
정말
you. But you have no
마음이
choice. It's not sustainable. We have to get them out.
그렇게
And we start with the
쉬운 일은
worst of the
아닙니다.
criminals. We
추방한다는
start with
게.
the drug lords. We
하지만
start
그렇게
with the
해야
worst
합니다.
of the
우리는
criminals.
정말 최악의
The illegal
범죄자, 마약
migrants coming
거래상부터
into our country are
시작하겠습니다.
taking the jobs of American
불법
citizens, the
이주자들이
black
우리나라의
and Hispanic
근로자들의
communities
일자리를
in particular.
빼앗겠고요.
The black
흑인 인구,
communities, the
히스패닉의
Hispanic communities, and
일자리를
the
빼앗아서
unions are
그들
coming next.
커뮤니티,
You watch. They're
그러니까
going to
정말
go
큰
after the
타격을
unions.
받고
They're doing
있고 또
it.
다음
And they're
차례는
here and they shouldn't be here.
조합입니다.
I will end inflation
그리고
and I will
인플레이션을
make America
끝내고
affordable
미국을
again.
다시 잘 살 수 있는 나라로
I will fight
만들겠습니다.
for and protect Social
저는
Security and
사회보장
Medicare.
보험과 메디케어를 위해서 싸우고
There will be no
지키겠습니다.
cuts.
절대
There'll
삭감이
be no
없을
cuts.
것입니다.
And we won't be raising the age like they're
그리고
going to end up
연령을
doing. They'll
상향하지
be raising
않겠습니다.
Social Security by 5 or
그들은
6
아마
years. You watch very
5,
soon.
6년
Very
연령을
soon they're
상향할
going to do it.
것입니다.
because it's not
왜냐하면
sustainable what they're
지금으로선
doing.
지속
We
가능하지
will
않기
terminate
때문이다.
Kamala's
그리고
insane
우리는 또
electric
카말라
vehicle
해리스의
mandate.
전기차
I will
의무화를
stop
폐지하고
outsourcing and turn the U.S. into a
그리고 우리나라
manufacturing
일자리를
superpower.
다른 나라에 위탁시키지
Working with
않고
Elon
우리를 제조업의
Musk, we will
슈퍼파워로
slash
만들고
a
일론
record
머스크와
amount of government
협력하여
waste.
정부의
I will
낭비적인
end the
지출을
war in
막고
Ukraine.
우크라이나 전쟁을
Stop
해결하고
the chaos in the Middle East and
중동의
prevent World
혼란을
War
막고
III. We
제3차
will prevent World
세계대전을
War.
막을 것입니다.
I will crush the violent crime and
그리고
give our
폭력
police the
범죄를
support, protection,
소탕하고
resources, and the respect that they
경찰에게
so dearly deserve. Our
필요한
police are
자원과
great.
그리고 꼭
We're
받아야
going to
하는
give them
존경을
back their authority. It's been
되돌려주겠습니다.
taken away. They destroy our police. They take away their house, their family, their car.
경찰의
They take away
집과
their
차,
pension.
연금을 다
They
빼앗으려
want
하고
to do their
있거든요.
job.
일을
We
하려고
will
하는데
rebuild our
말이죠.
cities,
우리는 또한
including our capital in Washington,
우리 수도인
D.C.,
워싱턴
making them
DC를
safe,
포함하여
clean,
도시들을
and beautiful
재건해서
again.
깨끗하고
I
아름답게
will
다시
support
만들겠습니다.
universal school
그리고 학교
choice.
선택권을 보장하겠고요.
We will get critical race theory and
비판적
transgender
인종
insanity
이념과
the hell out of our
트랜스젠더
schools
이념을
immediately.
우리 학교에서 추방하겠습니다.
And we will keep men out of
그리고
women's sports.
남성 여성 운동 경기 참여를 금지시키겠습니다.
I will defend the Second Amendment,
수정법 제2조를
protect
보호하고
religious liberty,
종교의
and
자유를
restore
보호하고
free speech, and
표현의
we will
자유를
secure
복원하고
finally our elections. We will
우리의
secure.
선거의 안전을
Everyone
확보하겠습니다.
will prosper.
모두가 잘 살게
Every
될
family
것이고
will thrive,
모든
and every
가정이
day will be filled with
번영하고
opportunity and hope.
매일가 희망과
But for
기회로
that to
가득 찰
happen, we
것입니다.
must
그렇게
defeat
되기 위해서는
Kamala
우리는
Harris
카말라
and
해리스를
stop her
꺾어야 하고
radical left
그녀의
agenda
극진
once and for
좌파
all.
아젠다를 완전히 끝내야 합니다.
We want a landslide
우리는
that is
압승을
too
거둬야
big
합니다.
to rig. We
투표율로
want to
부정을
have
압도해야
it
합니다.
too big to rig. Early voting is
사전
underway.
투표가
Get
진행
everyone you
중이고요.
know and vote, vote,
모든
vote.
사람들을
Get out there
동원해서
and
투표를
vote.
해주시기 바랍니다.
After all we've been through
결국
together, we stand on the
우리는 모든
verge
것을
of
다
the four
견뎌냈고
greatest years in the history of
우리는
our country.
4년, 최고의
With your
4년을
help now until election day, this is
맞기
such an
직전에
important
있습니다.
little period of time. We will redeem America's
우리는
promise. We will put
약속을
America
지키고
first,
미국을
and we will
최우선에
take
두고
back the nation that we all love. We
우리가
love our
사랑하는
nation.
국가를 다시 되찾겠습니다.
As an example, I didn't need this. I could be in the most beautiful
저는
beach in the
정말
world
아름다운
right now.
해변에서 쉬고 있을 수
Instead, I'm in the
있었습니다.
Commonwealth,
그런데
which is
저는
okay
지금
with me.
코먼웰스에 있죠.
I like this better. A lot
하지만
of
이게
people
훨씬
are
더
on the beach.
좋습니다.
No, this is much better and much more important.
더
This has nothing
중요하고요.
to do with like. November 5th will be the most
좋아하고
important
말고
day in the history of
상관없습니다.
our
11월 5일이
country.
우리나라 역사상
And
가장
together
중요한
we will
날입니다.
make America
우리는
powerful
미국을 다시
again.
강력하게 만들 것이고
We will make
미국을 다시
America wealthy again.
잘 사는 부자 나라로
We
만들
will make
것이고요.
America
우리는
healthy
미국을 다시
again.
건강하게
We will make America strong
강하게
again. We will
우리는
make
미국을 다시
America proud
자랑스러운
again.
나라로 만들 것입니다.
And we
그리고
will
우리는 미국을
make
다시
America great
위대하게
again. Thank you very
만들겠습니다.
much,
정말
everybody.
감사합니다.
God bless you.
하나님의 축복이
God bless you
있기를
all. Thank you. Get out and vote.
사람에게 축복이 있기를
God bless
바랍니다.
you.
하나님의 축복이 있기를. 네, 너무 감사합니다. 빛난 하루님. 이렇게 이른 시간에 제 웨팅님은 조지아 아틀란타까지 가셨다고요? 거기에 무슨 행사가 있나 보네요. 그리고 저희 카톡방에서 갑자기 나가셔서 조금 당황했는데요. 뭔가 이유가 있으시겠죠? 빛나는 하루님 감사합니다. 오진님 너무 감사합니다. 초코님 감사합니다. 박지연님 조금 오랜만이네요. 그리고 글로리아님, 김만길님, 서우영님, 현석김님, 김무옥님 너무 감사합니다. 그래서 오늘은 두 번의 행사가 있는데요. 이번은 지금 스크랜튼에서 랠리가 아닌 연설이었는데 이렇게 많은 사람들이 모이신 거고요. 그리고 이제 레딩에서 랠리가 있습니다. 그래서 이따가 동부 시간으로 오후 7시에 한국 시간으로 오전 8시에 다시 랠리가 있거든요. 그래서 그때 방송 때 다시 라이브로 찾아뵙겠습니다. 아, 제님 괜찮습니다. 그리고 그 트럼프 대통령님께서 이제 9일, 11일에도 큰 행사가 있고 또 콜로라도 오로라에서도 랠리를 하시고 저 정말 또 좋은 소식이 있죠. 캘리포니아에서 코첼라에서 코첼라 아시죠? 음악 페스티벌로도 굉장히 유명한 지역인데 코첼라에서도 랠리를 하셔서 캘리포니아에 계시는 분들은 한번 가보시면 너무 좋을 것 같은데요. 그리고 또 10월 말에 10월 27일에 메디슨 스퀘어 가든에서 뉴욕에서 랠리를 하십니다. 메디슨 스퀘어 가든은 그 뭐 학교 졸업식도 하고 저도 몇 번 가본 곳인데요. 거기서 랠리를 한다니까 너무 반갑더라고요. 그래서 그때 또 계속 여러분과 함께 하겠고요. 이제 20 며칠 남아서 정말 더 열심히 응원을 해야 될 것 같습니다. 그러면은 이따가 오전 8시 동부 시간으로 오후 7시 얼마 안 남았네요. 한 2시간 반 후에 다시 뵙겠습니다. 방송 시청해 주셔서 너무 감사합니다.